This live stream may contain mature material some viewers might not find suitable.
Everybody, and welcome. It is the 25th of August 2025, and this is a very special edition of the Level 99 live stream where we are feeling fine all the way up here at Level 99. My name is LDZ, aka Lord Diaz, and we are live across Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. Give it up for Brady, holding it down on Twitch. Sergeant Fanbro, Dark Wind, Link 101, Runa Monet,
F. Lord Diaz,
Nocturnal, Shao Shimigami also hanging out with us across the street on the YouTube alternative Twitch. Jordan Fadeaway. Sound off in the chat if I haven't said your name yet. Cody and Crusader. Big ups, everybody. And big ups to the Kickbots. I hope that everybody's Monday is agreeable with them. My Monday was pretty good. Let's get all the pleasantries out the way. It's about time we get into the Raja Jackson Syko stew stuff. Let's get right into it. I had help. I did some actual note taking. I took some notes and I wrote some thoughts down. And we're going to just get into it. So first off, I want to thank everybody for taking interest in this and coming to me, seeing what my opinion on all this was. I put a lot of thought into it, and I saw what everybody else had to say about it, and I figured it was about time for me to put in my 2 cents, being a 20-year professional wrestler. I came up during the really rough times of the early 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s, and then all the way up. And there's a lot of things that I saw and a lot of things that I heard that a lot of people were not commenting on, and I wanted to kind of give my opinions, and this is exactly what it is. It's my opinions on what has gone down. As it stands right now on Monday night, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of things that we don't know. So we're only going to focus in on what has been reported. I'm going to try and keep my editorializing minimal. However, I do feel like I'm going to be able to express myself and keep it diplomatic, because at the end of the day, I only want what's best for my fellow professional wrestler. And it's unfortunate that this person, this outsider, this MMA guy, came in and did what he did, and I'm going to speak on it. So we're going to go over the chat a little bit first, and then I'm going to get into my doc. So Link 101 says, I thought of, quote, work or get worked as soon as I saw this crazy MFer. Like, I don't even keep up with wrestling, and I would know, and I would know what the can was about. It was a compliment, in my opinion, for Syko to do so, and that was a tragedy on all levels. Facts, very true. Darkwind, yes, top tier rated, did do that voice. I paid him for his services. He also contributed to another sound effect that may pop up during the streams. It all really depends. I'm not going to advertise it, but when it happens, you'll definitely know. Sergeant Fanbro says, I'm scamming my fans, which is true. Link 101 very generously contributed $2, super chat style, with the following message: get well, Syko. And that's some real shit. And please do remind me, we're going to celebrate proper. We're going to go over to the green room after this. Have a nice little palate cleanser. Thank you, Nocturnal, Fanbro, and Runa Monet for helping me test the microphone. I'm listening back to all of my live streams. I want to make sure that the microphone sounds good. I've spent a lot of money making sure that it sounded right, and I'm tweaking some things. I listened back to the previous stream. It's getting there. I want it to sound more crisp, but I want it to also sound very deep. I'm looking for that Joe Rogan sound. So if anybody has the ear for it, I definitely do not, and wanted to kind of help me along, I would love any assistance, so thank you in advance. Jordan Fadeaway, father was egging him on, says Jordan Fadeaway. Just sad to see that because it all could have been avoided, and I definitely have some thoughts about that. And yes, Jordan Fadeaway also said that the promotion where all of this happened had their WWE ID association cut. And then everybody also asking about what was going on, Codeine Crusader, Darkwind, and the like. So let's set the stage here. I do think, says Darkwind, the promotion is to blame as well, not shifting the blame from Raj. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And Chao Shimigami, thank you for hanging out with us, holding it down over on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, and big ups to all the kickbots. Let's get into it. Knox Pro Wrestling Academy, owned by WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi, was hosting its Knox Experience event on August 23rd, 2025. The facility had been operating for 17 years as both a wrestling promotion and training academy, serving as one of 5 schools officially partnered with WWE's ID program. Now, let me just stop right there. WWE has a ID program where they take a look-see at promotions and academies and training schools that produce good talent that has a good regimen. Only a handful of promotions got the official stamp of approval for WWE's ID program. There's a couple of people in the independent scene right now that's getting a look at that's getting looked at by WWE, and this is pretty much their way to help build a brand around those people. They see promise in these people, and they put the stamp of approval on them, and you get a better chance at actually becoming a WWE superstar if you go through this process. So essentially, WWE's ID program is a scouting sector of WWE. Continuing on. Among the wrestlers performing that night was Stuart Smith, a 44-year-old Army veteran known by his ring name Syko Stu, who had been using professional wrestling as a way to manage his post-traumatic stress disorder. So, I did some internet research, and this person, Syko Stu, Stuart Smith, served for the country. So, first off, thank you for your service. Of course. And we're going to be taking a deeper look at that once we take it to the timeline. Going back to this, also in attendance was Raja Jackson, the 25-year-old son of former UFC light heavyweight champion Quentin Rampage Jackson. Raja, who had competed in 1-1 professional MMA record. compiled a 1-1 professional MMA record, was streaming the live event on his Kick account after being invited by Knox Pro Wrestler and promoter AJ Mana. All right. The confrontation began outside the venue before the show, in footage that would later circulate widely. Syko Stu struck Raja Jackson on the side of his head with a beer can. According to multiple accounts, this appeared to be part of a planned storyline buildup, with Stu later apologizing once he realized Jackson was not actually scheduled to wrestle. All right, this is important. Put a pin in this. All right. The two men shook hands, and it was agreed that Jackson would run into the ring during Stu's match as part of an angle to resolve the earlier incident. However, the specific details of this spot were never properly coordinated with the wrestlers or promotion management. All right? Get another pin, put it in that. We're going to return to it. As Jackson's live stream continued throughout the evening, his demeanor grew increasingly agitated. On camera, he made several concerning statements, including, "It's always been my dream to mess up a pro wrestler for real," and "I'm gonna punch his ass for real." When asked about a subscription goal, he mentioned 50 subs to knock Stu out. Now, going back to the chat here, Darkwind says, "Someone should have been watching Raj. You could have seen him get more heated. He should have gone home or been asked to leave." True. Very true. Adding to Jackson's anger were allegedly homophobic comments made by his father during a phone call on the live stream, along with viewers in the chat repeatedly goading him to attack Stu. Unfortunate. Ozzy's Game Room, welcome. Watching that footage was sickening, and Raja Jackson showed how much of a lunatic he is. Link 101 continues. Okay, that is new. I wasn't sure where the script was happening and where it was simple miscommunication. We're going to get into it. I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and let everybody in on some goings-ons. And if people get pissed off at me about it inside of my circle, I would just point them in the direction of your local Netflix, where WWE is proudly advertising their Unreal series, where they're literally talking about the finishes to matches and all the goings-ons behind the scenes and who's winning what and so on and so forth. Kayfabe is dead. All right, WWE killed it. Among other things, which we will get into. So, during Stu's match against another opponent, Raja Jackson entered the ring and lifted the 185-pound wrestler over his head before slamming him face first onto the mat. Stu appeared to lose consciousness immediately upon impact. Jackson then mounted the unconscious wrestler and delivered 23 documented punches to his head and face. The attack continued for several seconds until multiple wrestlers intervened to pull Jackson away. Even then, Jackson attempted to return to the unconscious Stu before being physically restrained by 4 wrestlers and eventually escorted from the building. He was okay with that slam, asks Sergeant Fambro. I'm going to get into that. Because there's a lot of broad strokes being painted right now, and we're going to dig into the finer details once we get to the timeline. Stu was immediately rushed to a local hospital with severe injuries, including broken facial bones and the loss of multiple teeth. According to his brother Andrew Smith, Stu remained in stable but critical care as of August 25th. That's today. The Los Angeles Police Department responded to the venue around 9 p.m. Saturday after receiving reports of attempted murder. Yikes. Officers completed a felony battery report and detectives were assigned to the case, though no arrests had been made as of Monday. That's today. Knox Pro Wrestling issued a statement condemning the incident. What was supposed to be a planned and agreed upon wrestling spot turned into a selfish, irresponsible act of violence against Mr. Smith. This egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred. So the fallout. The consequences extended beyond immediate medical and legal concerns. Kick permanently banned Raja Jackson from their platform, and WWE quietly severed ties with Knox Pro Wrestling, removing the Academy from their official WWE ID partner list and unfollowing associated social media accounts. Crazy. Quentin Rampage Jackson issued multiple statements defending his son while simultaneously condemning the violence. He revealed that Raja had suffered a concussion from sparring just days before the incident and should have not been involved in any physical activity. Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this, the elder Jackson stated. In a disturbing detail that emerged later after the attack, Raja Jackson was reportedly called by AJ Mana, who informed him that doctors could not wake Stu up and that he had, quote, flatlined in the ring. Jackson's response was simply, quote, my bad. Crazy. As of August 25th, 2025, which is today, the LAPD investigation remained active, with detectives reviewing video evidence and witness statements. The case highlights serious questions about safety protocols at independent wrestling events, the responsibilities of promoters when involving untrained participants, and the dangerous intersection of social media streaming culture with combat sports. The incident has drawn widespread, and I apologize, condemnation, again, speech impediment, from the wrestling and MMA communities, with many calling for criminal charges against Jackson. For Syko Stu, a veteran who found solace in wrestling after his military service, the road to recovery remains uncertain. So, those were the broad strokes of what was going on. And I want to dig a little bit deeper into individual parts of this, because there's a lot that I can glean from what I've seen. And again, these are all of my opinions. They are my own opinions. They do not represent anybody else but my own. This is all just my own top of mind, stream of consciousness thoughts when it comes to this kind of stuff. Link 101 says, damn, Raja is extremely lucky it happened in LA. Most favorable jurisdiction to commit crime and not be persecuted. I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to take your word for it. Only the best hang out over here. And unfortunately, we're going to need to dig down deeper into this. So let's go ahead and open up the timeline. I'm going to open up Twitter. And we're going to start with my post. It was one word. This was on the 24th. And it says irredeemable. And it has the clip. Rampage Jackson's son was just banned on Kick for beating up a man flatlined in the ring. Fighter could possibly be redacted. I am very hesitant to show this, so we're going to just dive into the comments real quick. Please don't autoplay. Yikes. It autoplayed. Anyways, Meerkat said this absolute mongrel should be castrated. And all this because his stream chat called him a bitch. What an absolute bitch. Charlie Weiss's last belt loop says, effing insane. Belongs underneath the prison. Kick should face consequences, but probably won't. Narcside Phil says 10 years minimum. Chief Randy Hogan says, should be lucky all those other wrestlers didn't beat his ass down. Carney Mark 2, says, not sure what I'm looking at or how to feel about it. I will say, though, bro beat him like an animal. And I'm going to not go there, but it does look like a literal hate-filled beating. I'm sorely lacking context here. Just take it as a tourist's comment. And that's probably the realest shit.
We getting there rap money. We getting there rap money.
Navy Vit for Life super chatted $5. Safety meeting, IYKYK.
Hey, thank you so much, Navy Vet, for real. I appreciate that. I'm going to abstain from pressing the sound board right here until after We are done the Syko Stew segment, but we're definitely going to celebrate those $5 that you just super chatted, plus the $2 from Link 101. So do stay tuned. We are going to get through this. This is a serious matter. We're going to handle it. We're going to handle it seriously. So thank you so much for your support, and let's continue. That's Fact says his career is effing over, dude, in all caps. Joe King version 1 says RVD and Necro Butcher are defending this, by the way. That's unfortunate. The Cactus Cat with a still shot of the bloodied Syko Stew in the middle of the ring. Paul Temp says why somebody didn't intervene sooner to separate them. This is so uncalled for too. And then Degade says what the actual F is wrong with these low Q. There you go. Just dropped in. What did I miss? So might as well just play it. So Rampage Jackson's son, unfortunately, had an incident at this show at Knox at this pro wrestling show over the weekend. Essentially, this MMA guy got into the ring and picked this guy up, and I'm going to show you. By now, he's already out. He hit his head. And as you can tell, he's completely limp. He's out. He's out like a light. PWR Soldier, welcome. Koraz, welcome. You better not press that soundboard. Some of us are trying to sleep. All right, bet. I'm going to try. And like, I keep hovering my hand over it because it's like force of habit. But we are going to push forward. This is the part that kind of gets dicey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe put some free use juice on this. Let me see here. How can I do this right? I'm going to add a shader to this. It's brutal, guys. Like Smokey McSee, he didn't even show it on his video. And I'm very hesitant to show it on mine. I have an effect that I can put on here that will probably make it a little bit less spicy. Let's try this. Nope, that ain't gonna work. I'm going to give it one more try, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to just keep moving. All right, it didn't work. All right, whatever. There it is. All right, I got it. So then he proceeds to mount him. And he's legit punching him. He's legit punching him here. He's not defending himself. He's linked. At least 23 shots that you can see here. This is absolutely crazy. And okay, so let's just take a look-see here. All right, I'm gonna shame a little bit. The one guy here with the face paint on, he's trying to take him off. Yeah, gosh darn is correct. He's trying to pull him off. He's not doing a very good job. All right, he's getting a couple more shots. And then the only guy here that looks like a professional wrestler gets into the ring and stops him, all right? I have a lot to say about this. He's actually trying to double leg him. He's actually trying to take him down. He's actually trying to stop him. You can hear the crowd screaming. This is not entertainment. This is not part of the show.
Hey, you gotta stop this shit, man.
Camera person or someone off camera is saying we gotta stop this stuff.
Oh. Stop this shit, man.
And then more wrestlers get into the ring. Not a stitch of gear among them. Finally push him into the corner. At least two people with face paint. You can see actually too, one of the guys has their fanny pack on. That is how crazy it was. This guy right here, if you're a worker, most of the time, if you have a fanny pack, that's where you're like selling gimmicks from. That's where your keys and all of your essentials are. So I don't know if this is part of his gimmick or if he ran from the back and he had his fanny pack on him, but it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Well, there's an entire story going on with that, so we can continue. And we're trying to keep him in there. And then, so that's crazy. Anyway, absolutely ridiculous. Irredeemable is the word I would put for it. Do not autoplay this shit again, Twitter. You're pissing me off. All right. So we have a couple of things to say. We got a couple of things to say and a couple of things to see. All right. So as we were talking about earlier, Syko Stu thought Raja Jackson was a wrestler and was setting up a storyline. He apologized and they talked it out. Raja Jackson proceeded to hit this man with 22 unanswered shots until blood came from his ears. Lock him up. Why can't this shit not just be figured out in a 1-versus-1? Oh my goodness. And the ref also basically stood there. So there's a failure on multiple ends, and we're going to get into that. So let's watch this first.
Hey, I think that's a little.
So the thing of it was, Raja Jackson showed up to this show. He was invited by the promoter, I think, or somebody. I don't know. I'm not going to pin it on one individual person, but they were invited to come to the show, and they were brought to the back. This is the dressing room. There's a couple of things that I'm going to say about this. I'm an old school guy. I was raised old school. I was raised to keep the integrity of kayfabe alive. And if you don't know what kayfabe is the illusion that all of this is, more than what it is, okay? Just to be diplomatic about it. So you want to keep the, you want to keep the magic alive. You don't want to see how the lady gets sawed in half. You just want to see the lady get sawed in half. You want to suspend your disbelief. And the fact that you're going to invite a Kick live streamer to your show and take the camera crew and that person to the back where everybody is getting dressed, which is the back of the building. It's not even, it's in the back, literally. Yes, Darkwind, it is true. We're gonna get to that, and it's just there's so many things that went wrong here. So I think that Syko Stu, this is what I picked up from the internet, so I may be wrong. Okay, so please take it as a grain of salt. He also likes to keep the business of it alive. He wants to make sure that people still believe, and this guy thought that he was gonna be a part of the show, or at least he wasn't smartened up. There's just a lot of things that were unknown. So he went, and I don't know if he was playing for the camera. I don't know if he legitimately thought that this was another worker. I don't know the thing of it, but we can't gloss over the fact that he did grab a beer can, and there's still debate on whether it was a gimmicked beer can or if it was another beer can. I have two roads of thought when it comes to that, but let's just watch the video and then I'll get into it.
Hey, I think that's a little.
So the quintessential worker punch. You can see Hulk Hogan do this. You can see Mick Foley do this, and I do this. I always reach out my hand and I almost like give them a head pat, or I grab them by the back of their neck. Most of the time, I put my hand on their forehead, and then when I go to throw the punch, I punch my other hand. So I'm not really tagging the guy. But if you're nice with it, you can make it look like really good stuff. What this guy did right here, he reached out, Syko Stu. He, primed him. If he's working another worker, then the other worker should already know that the design language of a worked punch may involve you reaching your hand out to indicate that you're about to throw that punch, all right? So he grabs this can, and then he clocks him on the side of the head.
Oh, you don't.
And then he squares up to him.
He's not a fucking worker, bro.
Listen to that. He's not a worker, bro. They told him after the fact.
Oh, you don't sell it? Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
So now he realized that he's not a worker. He's the live streamer. He's not what he thought he was.
Don't sell it. Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I will fuck him
we're
up,
good.
bro.
I know you will.
Nah.
We're good.
I will
Sorry
fuck
about
him
that.
up, bro.
I know you will.
All right, so that is what happened before the match, okay? According to what I've gathered so far, Raja was invited to the promotion and got into a little tussle with Stu in the back, as we saw, and they decided to put it into the show. They were like, all right, let's make it right. Or maybe this was the plan all along. We don't know. Again, I'm merely stating the facts that I see them, or not facts, I'm sorry. I'm just outlining what I'm seeing in these videos, all right? I'm not trying to cherry pick any information. I'm just seeing it as it comes. So eventually what happened was they apologized, or he apologized and said, I didn't know. And apparently they squashed it, all right? We're going to get into that. And then they made it a part of the show, because usually the best stories are the ones that have a little bit of truth in them. So they were like, all right, we're going to let this guy come in and do a little deal, do a little bit of business with Stu. And then the roster is going to come out and they're going to break it up. So this is what it was. Stu went for a spear, and then he picks him up. He kind of wastefully turns around. He was stalking him right there. He picks him up. And then look at this. Like, he's not trained to be a professional wrestler. I heard somewhere that he was training as a professional wrestler, or he had some sort of thing going on with professional wrestling, but he's mostly an MMA style guy. He's picking this guy up, and if you look at any wrestler doing any type of move, this is not a traditional wrestling move. I don't know what he could have been doing with this move. Maybe Sheamus's white noise, which is essentially an emerald fusion, if you're a Japanese flavor style wrestling enjoyer. Yeah, Darkwind has it right. He straight shook his hand and accepted his apology. And then this happened. So we're not going to watch it again. We're going to kind of speed through it a little bit. We're going to get back to over here. Yeah. So then he gets...
I understand that. But
on the phone.
They can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking.
Look, he's got blood on his shirt, bro. Look at his face. He's scowling. He's breathing heavy, bro. I don't know if this is because of the concussion that he got. And now that I'm thinking about it, he did get hit in the head with a beer can. So I'm sure that didn't help things. I'm going to say this. Unfortunately, in wrestling, especially because you are expected to look a certain way, and sometimes people take things that help that along. And unfortunately, one of the side effects of that is aggression and not being able to regulate your emotions, which is very unfortunate because I see it all the time. It's very common. So none of this is new to me, man. He's breathing heavy.
My bad.
And he said, my bad. Jesus Christ. Let's go back. This is incredible. Listen to what dude says on the phone.
He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatlined.
He's in the ring, fucking flatlined. Listen to what he says.
My bad.
Didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had.
He said, my bad. Jesus. So Rampage is also streaming on Kick. He has Syko, I think, right here. I'm not a fan of Syko either. But Rampage did not do himself or his son any favors with his take on this.
You saw it? Let me see it. He broke his face? Hey, is he going to get banned for it?
Is he going to get banned for it? He asked if he was going to get banned on Kick before he asked if the other guy was okay. That is unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
That's really bad? Chat was saying this was bad.
Chad is this bad. Brock is this bad. Yeah, so unfortunately, going on, real or stage, Raja Jackson, son of MMA fighter Rampage Jackson, loses it on a pro wrestler, Syko Stu, and brutally goes insane. Too much video exists of a pre-fight altercation, the fight, and then him on the phone in the parking lot, finding out the wrestler was still down. What do you think? Yep. So going over everything that we just saw. Village Nerd says, so after Raja Jackson and Syko Stu made up, after an apology, this guy, AJ Mana, goes to Raja and tells him to give Syko Stu a receipt, which means a real payback for something someone did for the beer can work, which means plans are scripted. What a POS. He instigated it all. Please share this and expose this POS. Also, looks like he's friends with... I don't know who that is. All right. Friends with Rampage, probably. All right. So let's open up this video and listen. Listen.
You run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. You remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro. You run in on his shit.
So I don't know, man. This could be for the camera. This could just be for the stream. This could be him trying to snake this other dude. I'm not going to say. There's a lot of different ways that this can go, but it's unfortunate because, I mean, anybody that takes a glance at this will automatically say that this guy, unfortunately, had a very heavy hand in seeing all of this happen. The machinations definitely were taken in consideration with this guy. So, oh, man. And again, in wrestling, you really don't have friends, okay? I'm just going to say it straight up. You really don't have a lot of friends in wrestling. Everybody's out to make money. Everybody's out to snake each other. It is not a place to make friends, all right? So when I see potentially and hypothetically, okay, that somebody would go up to this MMA fighter and say, I need you to legitimately hit this guy, take this guy out. That shows, one, a very poor decision-making process, because what if, and I mean, we already seen it, what if this guy really believes in this shit and takes him to task? Another thing of it is like protecting your fellow worker, and that's like one of the biggest oxymorons, the biggest juxtaposition of professional wrestling is that it's very difficult and very rare to trust somebody enough to put your well-being and your body on the line with that person, because you do put your faith and your trust in the people that you work with. Meanwhile, everybody's out to get their own. And I'm not speaking on everybody. I'm saying the vast majority of my experiences have been like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a good look in any direction, Ozzy. I'm just saying. And yes, he was egged on. And it does sound like he was being put on. Like, I'm not saying like these are what these people are. I can only talk about my experiences with that. People will snake each other for the dumbest shit. And this looks like another one of these things. Anyways, Nemesis says, I've seen pro wrestling throughout my whole life, and this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Hope Raja Jackson gets life in prison, and my thoughts go out to Syko Stu. Now, this is the crazy part, okay? The Meddler says, the wrestler that Raja Jackson attacked was a former Army veteran who suffered from PTSD and used pro wrestling as an outlet to get away from his personal issues. Let's look at this together and tell me that this is not the worst look that you can have beating this guy up.
Pro in 2009. I had just got out of the military,
Hello.
probably about 6 months earlier. I got out of the military, I joined Knox Pro, because I needed something to focus on. I needed something to help me adjust back into civilian life. A lot of veterans, it's hard for them to readjust into civilian life coming from the life of the military. I'm an American soldier that suffers from PTSD. Being in front of a crowd, it doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would. Pro in 2000.
So, I see a lot of people that have served working in professional wrestling, and after a while you do get to know these people, and unfortunately serving in the military is like a meat grinder, just like professional wrestling. And so that's why I could see the parallels, because pro wrestling really does dress you down. It really does beat you up. It really is an abusive relationship, but for whatever reason we keep putting ourselves through this type of stuff, maybe in hopes that one day you do get that one moment where the crowd is responding to you and loud and nothing else matters but that moment. And so, of all people to put hands on, this guy right here, unfortunately, he almost murdered somebody that served. So that's crazy. Fear Buck says Rampage Jackson's son gets banned on Kick after being told the man he beat up flatlined in the ring. Let's listen.
Hello?
Hey, where the hell you at? I told you to double leg that motherfucker and start welding him. I just saw the video.
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
He pissed me off though, okay? Tensions rise and stress levels increase, especially on show days, especially when you have a performance coming up, and especially when you're also delegated to doing a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not just merely going out there and having your match. It's setting up the ring. It's getting the truck to the building. It's putting out the flyers. It's training at the school. There's so much more that people do not see beyond what they see when they buy a ticket and they come see the show. I couldn't imagine, like in any other industry or in any other way of life, that you would dedicate thousands of hours of your life for the opportunity to possibly get 2 to 3 minutes out there in that ring. If you were to tell me that, if you were to write that down and give that piece of paper to me 20 some years ago when I first decided to start doing this, I would have gone in the other direction. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there's always stories like this. This isn't the first. This definitely isn't the last. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. This isn't actually the worst thing that has happened in the middle of the ring. A lot of people like to say that New Jack is a legend. He's an ECW original, but he stabbed the guy. He literally stabbed the guy with a knife. I've seen the footage. He stabbed the guy with a knife, like Halloween style, and he shook the knife inside of him. New Jack also took a actual legitimate baseball bat and hit a 70-year-old man in the head with it multiple times. That was also an attempted murder masquerading as a wrestling match. And it all comes down to toxic masculinity, bravado bullshit. All of these people out here saying that they don't want to be disrespected. They're trying to puff their chests out. They're really just masking insecurities. I've never seen the biggest group of divas in my entire life than male professional wrestlers. And that's including the women professional wrestlers. The men are the biggest divas.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga
Mass
up.
transit, you got it right. Deep cut.
He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
My bad. Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to leave it at that. So there's a lot of things that went wrong, and I'm just going to start at the beginning. And we touched upon it in the chat, and it is thus. So the promoter apparently invited this guy to the show. But did he tell anybody on the roster? Did he smarten any of these guys up? Did Syko Stu know that this guy was showing up with his camera crew and that they were going to be doing some business together? Did the promoter smarten up Raja and say, hey, some of these guys are old school and they want you to, for lack of a better understanding of it, play a role, play the part? That was also a failure. Saying, hey, we like to keep things a little bit, close to the chest. At the end of the day, we're all just performing, and we're all here to be safe and take care of one another. I don't think that information was conveyed to him. Also, I think it was a poor choice for Raja to not say, hey, I was concussed during sparring earlier and I should not be in the ring. If this state, what state was this? California? I don't know what the state of California does for their state athletic commission, but in certain states, you need to have an ambulance on site the entire show. You need to have a doctor on site throughout the entire show, or you can't have a show. And if they do have a state athletic commission, it doesn't really sound like they have one. Because they would have to take Raja aside and give him some tests. Like, for an example, for certain shows in certain states, I have to get checked out by the doctor. They have to take my blood pressure. They have to do the eye scan test, where they put the pen in front of you and you have to follow it with your eyes. They have to check to see if you have any injuries in your ribs, in your arms, in your legs. They literally put their hands on you. They grab your wrists. They tell you to spin your wrists, spin your elbows, spin your shoulders. And that's for every show. If you have a license in the state, you have to do a certain type of regimen in front of the doctor before they sign off on you. So if you were to get a license in a certain state, every year you have to go through the same process. You have to jog in place. They have to check your blood pressure. They have to give you a more rigorous examination. There's different, it's not a federal style thing. Each state has their own thing, and then in most states they don't have anything. So I'm going to assume California didn't have the mandate that you need to have a doctor on the premises, because they could have easily seen that maybe something was wrong. They could have asked Raja, hey, have you suffered any head injuries lately? All of that. Like, the negligence is the perfect word for it. And I'm only speaking from what I see so far, and I am perfectly okay with evolving my opinion if faced with new information. But as it stands right now, negligence would be the appropriate word for this. Beyond that, and this is something that kind of like the crux of where I'm coming from right now. I've trained as a professional wrestler for the majority of my life, more than half of my life. Absolutely. And you have to fight, claw, and scratch to get put onto a show that's worth anything. Unfortunately, there's a lot of promotions out there that will let their friends on, that'll let their family on, that'll let them be characters on a show. And the barrier to entry to not only promote a show, but to be on a show is all but gone. I had the experience of growing up, coming into the business back when the Attitude Era was huge and ECW was huge, and it was just the wild, wild west. It wasn't seen as such the product that it is today. I was in it at the very beginning, and probably the reason why I got my break was because there was such a low standard coming in. I had to unlearn everything that I learned over half of my career in order to do it the right way. And it wasn't until I finally got it that I realized that everything that I did up until that point didn't matter, and I wasted so much of my body and my time doing the wrong thing. And for all intents and purposes, this was the wrong thing. Sergeant Fambro just hitting us with some information. In California, a licensed physician is required to be present at professional wrestling events under the California State Athletic Commission. Yikes. Well, there you go. Thank you for looking into that. So, also, going back to what I was saying, it takes a lot for anybody to be put on a show, because if you're worth your weight, then it's going to show. If you're talented, it's going to show. The cream rises to the top. But unfortunately, there's a lot of outlaw mud shows ran by people that want to put their friends or themselves over and be the stars that the other promotions will not allow them to be, because they know better. They know their worth. And then they go and gas themselves up, gaslight themselves even into believing that they're a big deal, when at the end of the day, we're all just king shit of Turd Mountain. Who's going to be the best of the flea market performers, you know? It really, you have to take the 1,000-yard zoom out view of all of this and realize that at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of performance art. It's a bunch of theater kids that also happen to be on a lot of narcotics or coming from messed up backgrounds. It's really bad. It's really bad. Like, saying it out loud makes me really, like, see how crazy this shit was. And let's just call it like we see it. I don't know what kind of can Syko Stu hit Raja with. If it was a soda can, I'm hoping it was a soda can, maybe some sparkling water, seltzer water. But if it was a beer, it would be unfortunate if he or other members of the roster were drinking before they had their match. That is a huge no-no, at least in the modern era. Going back to how things were when I first started, half of the locker room were inebriated or drunk or something. There was always something wrong with these people, which is unfortunate. Nowadays, it's not as prominent, but it still exists in certain pockets. It looks like a beer can, yeah. And that's why I'm always trying to preface all of what I'm saying here, because I'm not saying that it is. I'm just merely presenting the opportunity for these roads to be traveled. Yes, and I also heard it was a prop can, which is interesting to me. I hope that it was, because then, like, the least of what it was could be then this guy didn't know and then he took it serious. I mean, and then even that, if we're peeling away at that, if you were around wrestling as long as I have, you'll see again these divas who don't want to be put in positions where they look weak or where they make someone else look stronger than them, which is unfortunate, because pro wrestling, the art of it is making your opponent look good. And that's why Ric Flair was such a superstar, because anybody he worked, he made them look like $1 million. You know, you want to be the person that makes everybody else look good, because then everybody wants to work with you. And that's how you make the real money. Really tough to tell from the videos. Yes. And a lot of people, I mean, the internet is a wealth of misinformation, but as far as I can see, and as far as from what I could glean from the internet, it was a beer can. And I mean, pro wrestling tradition usually has a lot of the boys drinking beer in the back, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the first thing Stu said is, you're not going to sell it, like asking him, you're not going to sell it, like asking as if he was like a worker or not. I don't know. So again, spots on the show are very few and far between. And it is kind of disrespectful to allow somebody who has not had the required amount, and I'm just saying required for lack of a better term, an acceptable amount of training to get into a ring and to pick up another person and drop them. Raja was very untrained in the ways of professional wrestling. There is an art to it, and that's why I kind of pointed out some things that I've seen in the video. To be able to look back and realize all of the positions and all the opportunities that were given because of situations where somebody couldn't make it, or we just needed to slot somebody in. Everything is fluid, and everything can be changed on a whim. And so it's always best to temper expectations. It doesn't happen until it happened, and then you can talk about it. And if I was a guy that was training at that school, working for the opportunity to get on a show, it would kind of be insulting to me to see somebody showing up, live streaming, get an opportunity to get a spot on the show, and then squander this opportunity the way that they did. So it's like, again. So, again, this also turns to a wider phenomenon which is going on in professional wrestling, and I will use WWE as the biggest indicator of this. Logan Paul, noted live streamer, one of the most popular internet personalities currently, is a WWE superstar, gets put in prominent positions on shows, and that is a smart business plan, okay? He's also very athletic, and he's taken to WWE very well. As a performer, Logan Paul is absolutely amazing. The return on investment was well worth it. However, unfortunately, that comes at the expense of people who may have trained their entire lives, sacrificed their lives, their time, their time with their families, with the hope in mind that their hard work were showed through enough that they will actually be put on WWE TV, just to have somebody that built their own brand away from the Performance Center or away from WWE to then be presented the spots on the shows that you are working so hard to get. And that's where I feel like the crux, coming back to it, of one of my biggest issues when it comes to professional wrestling as a whole right now. So I put in a lot of time into these live streams, the sets, the microphone, the sound effects, all of it, the research. I put a lot of time behind the scenes to make everything work properly because I want to put on a product that I would want to watch. And I watch back all of my stuff, and I consistently say on stream that I'm looking for an off-ramp from my real-life job and professional wrestling. And I want to do this because I know that I am my own boss. I choose who I can work with. I'm in absolute control as to what's going on. I'm in control of what the content is, and I don't have to answer to anybody or make any compromises. Because I've compromised myself so much for professional wrestling with the hope in mind that I would one day be put in positions that be put in bigger positions, be put and showcased in better positions. And unfortunately, I can see the business side of it. I have been in professional wrestling long enough to know that at the end of the day, professional wrestling is a business. And if somebody comes in from the outside that gets more eyeballs to the product, which potentially could get more people to buy a ticket or subscribe to your channel, then that's how it's going to be. And so that's why I feel like if I could put more effort into what I'm doing on my live streams and producing content, then I don't need to have that carrot dangled in front of me, that professional wrestling carrot dangled in front of me anymore. Because, again, the work that I put into professional wrestling is like a third full-time job. And if I were to have somebody walk in through the door and then put in a position on the show that I knew that I could deliver on, and that unfortunately, I hate to say it like this, I'm not going to say I deserve it, but I put in the work that would allow me the opportunity to get these spots. But if there's more money in the other person, then I get it. That's why when I come back to the live streaming stuff, if I could build my own audience, if I can have my own community, if I can call my own shots to the point where I'm bigger than what I was in pro wrestling, then I could finally let go of doing professional wrestling. Because unfortunately things like this happen, and it happens regularly, and I see it happen. It's not I see it on the internet or I see it on the timeline. I've experienced it. I've lived it. And when it comes to things like this, it just takes my joy and my love of wrestling away from me, because it stains all of the work that everybody has done previously and all the work that people are going to be doing after the fact. Because then I mean, obviously this has become the talk of the internet right now. And so it's going to put a black eye, a blemish on professional wrestling. And trust me, professional wrestling does not need another blemish on it. It is not sterling. It is not perfect by any means. It's just another reason for people to point and look and say, what are you doing with your life? If this is what you're striving towards, if this is what you're working towards. And that's, I feel like, all I'm going to have to say about this, because I don't want to be a complete downer on this, but it is a sad but true fact that it is not easy to be a professional wrestler. It is not a rewarding or enriching lifestyle. It takes more than it gives. It is a what have you done for me lately style business. People that you work for hate you. People that you work with hate you. They don't want to see you succeed. And sometimes you'll get a element of people that want to see you not do it anymore, and potentially worse. So, with all that being said, let's go to the chat. And I'm sorry, I was not looking at the chat at all this entire time, so we're going to catch up. Ozzy's Game Room says, just like in life, all you can hope for is to get the opportunity and show what you can do. Darkwind says, this was a really interesting perspective. Thank you. And I really appreciate that, because I did get a lot of people asking me if I was going to talk about it, and it feels nice to have my opinion matter in this realm, because in professional wrestling, it's unfortunately structured in such a way that you are not in control. Your hard work and everything that you put into these things could be taken away or adjusted at the drop of a hat, and there's nothing that you can do about it but eat it. Eat the shit. Raja is a Nepo baby, says Sergeant Fambro. I heard that too. And of course, if your dad is Rampage Jackson, I think it comes as no surprise. Ozzy's Game Room says, really tough to tell from the videos. Yep, we were talking about the beer can and the prop can. Cocona Lemonade, welcome. I apologize if I didn't get to you earlier. I remember a wrestler named Chris Melendez in TNA a decade ago. I wish I could remember, but unfortunately, I've also been dropped on my head, and I've also suffered a few concussions myself. And it's a real thing. My short-term memory is shit. And sometimes I look back at the things that I did and I wish that I didn't do them. But of course, I was young. I was trying to make an impression, and I was trying to show them that I really cared. Fambro continues, needs to learn how to control his temper. Yes, emotional regulation is very important here on this corner of the internet. Darkwind says, this guy also may not have been in a good place either. Yep, you never know what's going through a person's mind, and especially if you're concussed. I'm going to tell you this. One of the first symptoms of being concussed is being very aggravated. Very aggravated. You know when old people start losing their minds? They get dementia, like they turn to real bitter, like angry people. It's because you're mad at yourself for not being able to remember what you're doing. Like it's like a thing that kind of dresses you down and really strips away your, your sense of worth, and so you get mad. Nocturnal says it's the first you're seeing it. I'm sorry that this had to be the way. PWR Soldier welcome says Rampage messes around too much. Yeah, no shit. Nocturnal says he's no King Snake. And let's see here. Keep going. Koraz with the jokes. Why is Rampage hanging out with that loser? Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sneeko either. F Sneeko. Link 101 says, how would you feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning, Raja? I'm sure you would flip shit. Might Makes Right says Cult of Carney, I suppose. But he was angry and he was disrespected. Cult of Carney continues. Well, I'm kind of disrespected that this guy came into a professional wrestling ring, something that somebody has to work very hard to get to, and just did what he did. So I'm going to take offense to that. Ozzy's Game Room says, clearly the promotion did a horrible job of communicating anything to anyone. This is true. If true. Koraz EQ says beef squashed with a steak and hammer emoji. Darkwind says this is on the promotion for not letting them know the guy was part of the show. Yes, and that remains to be seen if there's anything else that we can glean from that. Sergeant Fambro says Stu saw the camera and I bet he thought it was part of the show. Very true. More miscommunication, unfortunately. Ozzy's Game Room says at first I thought Stu started it, but then realized what really happened. Cult of Carney says not a worker. This is true. And Darkwind didn't know any of that, so there you go. I'm all for some sort of legislation for publicly live streaming. That I'm going to have to agree with. These live streamers, these in real life live streamers, are becoming a nuisance. I don't like the public. I don't like people. I don't want to go places unless I have to. I will actively avoid going places if I could. I've had my fill of the public, okay? It's not that I want to be a shut-in or that I have poor social skills. I've socialized enough with the public, okay? In my 15-some years of telecommunications installations being in people's houses, I've realized that I don't like people. And I'm okay with saying it. You guys are great. Only the best hang out here, but I just do not like people, all right? The small talk, the getting to know people, like, I can do without it, okay? I love you guys, do not get me wrong, but when it comes down to it, I'm not actively seeking socialization with people because I've had enough. My social battery is beyond drained. And then Darkwind, yes, lore, is it true the wrestlers pinned Stu after this? Yeah, the show must go on apparently, which was unfortunate. So the ref was wrong because as soon as Stu was knocked out from that slam, the ref should have jumped in there and stopped it, okay? So there was also negligence on the ref's part. There was negligence on the other workers that were in there. It was like a battle royal or something. It was a scramble match or something. There was more than one wrestler out there in that ring. The one guy tried to pull him off, but it was obvious he wasn't really trying, and then all it took was the one guy that actually looked like a wrestler, by the way. Here's another thing. As a wrestler, and I was very guilty of this too, okay? There comes a time when you have to put your big boy pants on and you have to get actual gear. And that means you have to spend a couple $100, maybe $1,000 or so on in-ring gear, okay? You just can't get stuff that you bought from Amazon. You can't just get stuff that you bought from eLucha or eBay or anything like that. Custom gear. That also involves getting in shape, a healthy diet, a good workout regimen, not eating garbage, okay? Unfortunately, the majority, I'm going to say 99% of people that were in that ring during that segment were wearing t-shirts, were wearing pants, like Dickies shorts. The one guy that looked like a worker, that actually had definition, that actually was in shape, the one that actually was wearing trunks and gear and stuff like that, he was the only one that actually stopped him. Then everybody else came in. All right, face paint is not gear, okay? I, in my career, wore pants that I bought from Walmart, bright reflective raver pants that I got from my girlfriend at the time, Janko jeans. I did everything that I could to make a character that didn't have to wear gear until eventually I finally did get pleather shorts and pleather long pants, which were not form-fitting, which looking back at it was so early 2000s. And then eventually getting form-fitting gear, actual singlets, actual wrist tape, getting a tan, getting in shape, and actually looking like a wrestler. And it's very difficult for me to look like a professional wrestler when I'm 5'5", 155 pounds, but I'm for sure not going to be out of shape, or at least try not to be for the most part. You familiar with this promotion? Apparently it's owned and operated by Rikishi. Yes, it was a part of the WWE ID program, but since has been revoked. Yeah, and I think he did some stuff in Japan too. Oh, okay, well there you go. And Joe Dub, thank you for coming out. Big ups again. Glad to hear your perspective on this. I appreciate you guys listening. Your memory is shit because you're getting old. I mean, that may be true. I'm going to say that that is true because I'm definitely coping for that. Didn't Rampage do some wrestling with TNA like years ago? That sounds familiar. I'll regale you with the TNA story before we close the book on this. and this is so professional wrestling, and we're going to talk about an outsider in another sport coming into wrestling, and the challenges that the promotion had to work with when it came to it. Adam Pac-Man Jones used to work in TNA for a little bit, and he was tag team champions with R-Truth, I think. However, if you were to go back and watch any Pac-Man Jones match, you could see that he never got physical with anybody. He always did misdirections. He always did some evades. He always let R-Truth or whoever his tag partner was do all the heavy lifting and all the work. And that was because even though he was doing TNA spots and he was on the show, he was not able to get physical with any of the professional wrestlers. And I may be gilding the lily a little bit on this. This is well over a decade ago. But that just goes to show, when it comes to professional wrestling, if it makes money, if it makes headlines, pro wrestling will figure out a way to make it work. How are you going to have somebody who's then ending up as one of your champions work in a pro wrestling match? They don't come to see Adam Pac-Man Jones wrestle. They came to see Adam Pac-Man Jones. So if you can just build wrestling all around it, and you can mask the fact that he can't do much of anything in tag matches, well, then there you go. Look no farther than any WrestleMania celebrity involvement, when you had guys like Jelly Roll or Snooki do shows. They're usually in tag matches for the most part. They're obvious outliers, but all the same. Shout out to Ron Killings, the best worker in the industry and also one of the smartest. Ron Killings, R-Truth, he's one of those WWE lifers, which means, I mean, obviously he was fired because of TKO, because of money things, but like, he has a safe job and probably one of the best positions in the promotion. And all he has to do is show up, make a funny, and then he's gone. He's tenured, which means obviously the longer you are at a promotion, the more stroke and stock you have in the realm. And all R-Truth has to do is be funny. He doesn't have to set himself on fire or fall off a ladder. And so it was only after all of my injuries and all of the bumps that I've taken over the course of my 20+ year career have added up, that I realized that Kevin Nash was actually very smart when he said that you do less. What's less is more. You don't have to go out there and do a million moves. You don't have to go out there and do a million spots. You need to make the moments that people will remember. And most of the time, it's not with a cool move or jumping off of something high. It's doing something that captures people's attention and emotion. So, with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to talk about this. Let's go ahead and change things up, but we're going to split the part right here. Thank you so much if you've watched this all the way to the end. And I'll see you next time. Everybody, and welcome back to the Level 99 live stream, where we are feeling fine all the way up here at Level 99. My name is LDZ, aka Lord Diaz, and I am so happy to be here with all of you tonight for Monday Night Brawl. Guys, we had a serious discussion about what was happening with the Syko Stu Raja Jackson incident. I cannot believe we went over an hour and a half. Guys, thank you so much for showing interest in this type of thing. I know professional wrestling sometimes gets a stigma to it. And I feel like I have a unique perspective on things, and I tried to be very fair and generous to all parties involved. However, I wasn't going to sugarcoat it, okay? When you see things, you got to call it as you see it. And again, I would love to evolve my opinions if presented with more evidence. So, we gots to do what we gots to do. And what we gots to do is celebrate the fact that we not only hit 1 goal, we hit 2 goals. Holy! So,
Screw off.
I will see you all on the other side of this. Hey everybody, welcome to the green room. Hello. Hello there. Jordan Fadeaway, I'm a huge fan of Raquel Rodriguez, and she did take Kevin Nash's advice to heart, and it's so good and refreshing. This is what we need more of. We need more of the young people coming up to take advice from their elders and realize that we're all in it to make each other better. So big ups to Kevin Nash and big ups to Raquel Rodriguez for taking what he said to heart. We are here to celebrate Navy Vet for Life and Link 101 supporting the channel. And my apologies for taking so long to get to the celebration. I felt that the conversation we were having was serious enough to where I didn't want to muddy the waters with a soundboard or with extracurricular distractions. I wanted to make sure that I went into this with a clear mind. So thank you guys so much for being patient. And of course, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I'm not kidding either, guys. Like, I've been wrestling for 20 years. I've been working ever since I graduated high school, and I'm tired. This is what I want to do. There's just so many things. There's just so many more people that I have to answer to in real life. You know, I have to adhere by a certain structure in the world. This is where I know I can control every facet of what's going on. I know where we're going to go, what we're going to talk about, how we're going to celebrate. And I have fun. If I were able to go back to my old job at Comcast, I would go to the shop. I would go to my old boss and I say, hey, we hit the Puffco proxy every time we hit the support goal. Darkwind, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm not a quitter, all right? I'm not a quitter. I am never going to quit. Because professional wrestling has offered me opportunities that I would never have been able to do. Working for some of the biggest names in the industry, doing what I feel is my top tier talent, which is graphic design, which is art. And I wouldn't have been able to make a very good resume, a good body of work with the connections that I've made thanks to professional wrestling. The majority of people that I know in real life is because of wrestling. I know these people because of our love for professional wrestling, and that's why I keep coming back to it. That's why it's still the constant in my life, because I just don't know anything else. And it's intimidating to imagine a world where it doesn't dominate my life, which is crazy because it almost sounds like I sound like someone with Stockholm syndrome, if we're being honest. And You know, I'm at the point in my life where I know that I'm never going to be signed. But I've collected a WWE paycheck once. I've been in a WWE ring. I stood out on that stage. I've done work for people that I've watched on television. I get to work with people that I've seen on television. So it's just, it's very difficult for me to explain why I keep coming back to it. But again, if I'm able to see this right here through and make it on that same level to where I could comfortably take care of myself doing this, then I'll absolutely do it. But I'm not in a rush, you know? I haven't come this far just to come this far. And I feel like every time we have a stream together, I have a lot of fun with you guys. I hope you guys always enjoy it. It's always cool seeing all of you hanging out on the premieres, catching up on what's been going on with DSP. And we've got a lot of DSP to get into, and we're definitely going to need that palate cleanser. And who would have thought that watching Dark Side Phil was actually going to be a palate cleanser for what we were doing earlier?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm trying. And like, I always look back to how things were a year ago from now, and then a year before that, all right? I remember sitting here and streaming to nobody, all right? Especially on YouTube. Twitch was always the OG.
Piss me the fuck off.
Always the original bay. And YouTube, nobody was coming through and hanging out. But after a while, we started gaining some momentum, and we started hanging out more. And now YouTube has become the central hub for everything that we do here on the internet.
We got a contribution.
And I'm trying to show some love to the Kick channel because I'm also trying to cultivate and build up an identity over there as well. And there's just so much that we could offer here on this corner of the internet. And I'm always open to doing more stuff. It's crazy to me that I could sit here and say that I have the flagship streams that I do with the Stepmania stuff that I do downstairs on a setup that literally is thousands of dollars. And it's just me having fun doing the things that I love. And I love it. I spend just as much time, and if not now more time, trying to put things together and put things out there on the internet that I feel like if I saw it, I would want to go, oh man, what's going on over here, you know? And it comes from a place where, just like with pro wrestling, I've been playing DDR for the majority of my life. It actually goes hand in hand. My first day at training, me and my buddy, we first showed up and we were early. Because we were punctual like that. And right around the corner was the mall. And at the time, I found DDR. I was playing it for a while. And I was like, well, I mean, if you want to kill some time with me, because we both showed up to the school, but we were early and it wasn't opened. I was like, how about we go to the mall real quick? Because I knew there was a DDR machine there. And I was a mall rat at the time. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and play some DDR. Oh, no, I don't play that shit. Like, it's really good for your cardio, though. It's really good. So we went over there, killed some time. I played some DDR, and then we came back. And it was a good warm-up, and it got my blood going. And, you know, winner! It helps. There you go. See? I appreciate that, Carney. Just you guys hanging out means so much. Because there's like event streams that I always try to check out while it's happening. And if not, I always catch up on it later. I always watch Chill stuff. I always watch Snort stuff and Dash's stuff and kind of Sav and all of them. And I would feel like so honored and I would feel so nice about it if people saw the stuff that I put on the internet as their event television, you know? It just sounds, you know, it sounds cool because then it really puts things in perspective. You know, I like to watch these things because they're entertaining to me. I find investing my time into watching this stuff, you know, kind of validates it. And then if it was on this channel, you know, that just really, 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 you know, brightens me up. It really makes it seem like what I'm doing here is like working towards something, where with obviously work and obviously with wrestling, it just feels like I'm spinning my wheels, you know? Anyways, I appreciate you guys letting me ramble on for a little bit. It was a celebration, and then I went down another path. Shit. Thank you, Carney. And Link says it actually does help, gets me motivated to do my workout when I see you stepping in the morning. And I hear that a lot. I hear that.
King be cruel. King be bitch.
Not the first one. Fuck it. I mean, if you're inspired, man, go fucking for it, man. It's a lot of work. I'm not even gonna front. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I feel like the only reason how I got this far is because people were so tough on me. And I realize sometimes that I use kid gloves when I talk to people, but I want you all to know that, like, I want to see the best of all of you, because we're only the best right here. And you got to start from somewhere. And even if I don't feel like I'm that guy or I'm that person, I need to just keep narrowing my focus and seeing that through till eventually it just becomes the thing that you kept putting out into the universe. Does that make sense? No, it's interesting when streamer talks about what they like. Yeah, I mean, and you're not going to get that like, I always like listening to like Stevie Richards or like Devon Dudley. I watch their internet shows talk about things, and it's crazy.
We getting that rap money. We getting that rap money.
NWO. News super chatted $50. Big ups law. Keep it pushing, my dude.
Hey.
Light up that sticky again for all the hard work.
You know what? Who am I to say no to that? Let's go! I only got one question for you, NWO News. Streets of Rage 4 or Streets of Rage 2? You gotta let me know. That's incredible. In the meantime, I am like absolutely floored by 50. What? No, I thought that was 5. Stop. Real shit. No. I had to scroll my thing over. Are you shitting me right now?
Good thrill. You know,
No,
probably just
whoa,
kind of roll over on it and get the 1, 2, 3. And
Are
she
you
probably doesn't
shitting
say
me
much,
right
but-
now? Big support.
Shadow Wizard, Goblin, Insanity.
I'm sorry. I'm faded. What the? No fucking way. Holy shit. Streets of Rage 2 it is. You know what? It is joint time. Holy shit. Sheesh. We gotta do it right. Let's go. Any money away from Phil is a solid donation. I'm gonna co-sign that because that's some real shit you just said. Holy. And you know what that means, by the way. We kind of did a soft launch of this, and I don't want to be a DSP.
Screw off.
I don't want to be a DSP about it, so I'm going to be very brief when I say this. But Link brought it up, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it because I was the one that brought it up. Fear Monarch, welcome. Check that PayPal. I thought it said 5, bro. No snorts, no throat clears, but we just hit the super secret goal, guys. Lake 101 had it right. So, in my hand is a container full of J's. And then I posed the challenge to the chat. And I literally only said it once. I said, every time.
Give me your mailing address. I want to mail you a spoon so you can eat shit out of my fucking.
I said that for every $25 that we raise, all right, it would be met with a burn J. So we would have the dabs every time support would happen. But then once we hit that 25 milestone, it was joint time. So I don't wanna alarm anybody, but I think we just cleared it. You can name me. You can name me at this point. You can call me Dave. And I would just have to be like, all right with it. RUICS. Yeah. And I don't want to alarm anybody, but we just gotta follow over on Kick. Shout out to the Kick bots. I need to find a lighter. Would you be patient with me for a moment? I'm gonna run downstairs and grab my lighter.
Challenge.
We're hot. Oh my God, we're hot, bros. Guys, thank you all so much. Yeah, we're gonna stop the whole stream. This is all your fault. No, you! Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the ashtray. I'm gonna put on a video while we hang out for a second, if you guys don't mind. Pull up something that we can look at, you know. And we will get into the DSP stuff, I promise. Lauren needs that GIF of Pikachu spinning on the chair so he can just pop up when he steps away. That's a great idea, actually. I have a Be Right Back screen. I just forgot to put it on. I know exactly what we're gonna look at, guys. Perfect. Do be patient with me. We just celebrated the contributions. I'm gonna add this browser. Bro, I am like serious, like my heart rate is up. You guys are so effing awesome. I'm like shaking, bro. I fall asleep to the side scrollers roasting Phil.
Before we start the video, I want you to imagine this for me.
5 hours of
You
Phil
get home
line.
from school,
Can you hear
do
this?
your chores, eat dinner with the family, and then finally, it's time to watch some TV. So you flip on some Cartoon Network, and wouldn't you know it, a marathon of your favorite show is on. A few episodes in, and you start to feel a little sleepy.
Oh my God!
We getting that rap money.
Link 101 super chatted $2, soundboard tax.
Whoa, buddy, thank you. Sheesh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm lacking. Link 101, thank you so much, my friend. Sheesh. Do you see
Rest your
this?
eyes for a moment.
Can you hear this?
When suddenly, in the dead of night, you wake up in a cold sweat, greeted by this.
Look familiar, huh? Looks familiar, huh? Looks familiar. All right, let's light this thing up. Soundboard tax, let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Big support.
Frozen in fear, your eyes stay glued to the screen. What am I looking at? Am I having sleep paralysis? In a panic, you shut the TV off. But before you drift back into sleep, you have one final thought. What was that? That, my friends, was a bump. Okay, fine, but what is a bump? A bump, or bumper, refers to a break in the programming shown between commercials and the
PWR,
show
he's cold
itself.
as fuck.
You've probably seen these on things like the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, or MTV, usually advertising what was coming up next or to promote a new show or movie. They were often pretty forgettable, opting for bright and flashy promos to grab your attention in hopes that you'd stay seated for whatever was coming next. Things like Stay Tuned and Coming Up Next.
There's just something
generally
about
in the early days of television, bumps
being
had a
high and
more
watching Adult
technical
Swim.
role.
It really does it
You
for
see,
me.
tape machines of that time took a few seconds to fire up, so board operators would run a few seconds of pre-recorded tape before the actual show started. This way, there wasn't just a blank screen between broadcasts. Once the 1970s rolled around, the FCC required most Saturday morning cartoons to have
you're
bumpers.
in the right spot.
This way, audiences could distinguish between the show and the advertisements that followed. I'm guessing this was to establish that there was no relation between the products advertised and whatever episode of Scooby-Doo was on. Japan had something similar that they called an eye catcher.
Hell yeah, Venture
These
Brothers.
would vary in
Fuck yeah.
execution, but most of them appeared midway through the show as a still or a quick animation. One of the most popular examples being Cowboy Bebop's jazzy intermissions. Later on, as technology advanced,
Can you guys
bumps
hear this?
became sort of antiquated and gone by the wayside. This was until decades later when networks started using them again in a more artistic light. Some of my favorite bumps to date were the ones that aired on Cartoon Network in the mid-2000s. There was just something so cool about seeing all these different characters interacting with each other.
Hell yeah.
You just know that the creators had to have some fun with this one in the studio. Now, it's worth mentioning around this time that we had also been gifted Toonami,
Fuck
airing
yeah,
earlier
Toonami.
in the day and aiming to provide
Sounds
a
good.
more
Thank you, Jodo.
action-centered experience. Hosted by robotic and overall cool
Darkwing,
guy,
I'm gonna be honest,
Tom,
I was doing graphic
this block
design
would
before
feature
Adult
acclaimed
Swim.
classics
In my
like
youth.
Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, even going as far to air music videos by bands like Daft Punk and Gorillaz.
Yup.
Suffice to say, Toonami held its own in the annals of bump
Toonami
history.
has got me through a many Saturday nights.
But that is a different video for a different time.
Activate disintegrators.
Though many channels worked in this arena, there is one that stands out above the rest. One network that took the simple task of
Shout out
informing
to
the viewer
G4 and the
and
models,
turned it
bro.
into an art form unto itself. Yes, I'm of course referring to the Adult Swim bumps. I mean, I was probably going to mention it. It's in the title. Anyway, even early on in their existence, Adult Swim understood that not only should the content be fun,
Aqua
but you
Teen,
could
let's
also
go.
have fun with the non-content, deciding to make the in-between just as compelling as the shows they offered. Take, for example, their first and probably most iconic bump ever.
All kids out of the pool.
I'm gonna reverse
for Adult
engineer this
Swim.
somehow.
All kids out.
Bro, this is so
I remember
fucking
seeing this
cool.
for the first time when I was 9 years old, and my head almost exploded. What is this? Did Cartoon Network change overnight?
Take me
Are
back.
my parents gonna bust in and yell, "Hey, you can't watch this. You're not old enough." But as I
yeah,
continued
Shao.
watching, I was mesmerized. not just by the adult animation that would rot my promising
Aqua Teen
brain,
now makes me think
but rather
of
the
Big Bird's
comforting
trolling
feeling I
Peter
would get whenever that music would kick in.
Hell yeah.
As if the TV was saying, hey man, forget about your troubles. Watch this meatball instead.
Hell yeah.
Fast forward to the mid-2000s, and the Adult Swim bumps had evolved significantly. By this time,
Archer
viewership
was
had almost
also
doubled
dope
since
as
the
hell.
block got its start earlier in the decade, establishing a rabid fan
That was
base
the same-
that fell in love with
like
the
the same
absurdist
people
humor that was
that
pouring
did
out of the
Aqua Teen,
studios
right?
at this time.
I might be
Shows
wrong.
like Tom Goes to the Mayor,
Liquid
Moral
Television,
World,
Link.
and Aqua Teen Hunger
Holy
Force.
shit.
Astro
Eon Flux was my
continued,
shit.
the Atlanta-based company
Reign the
decided to
Conqueror
make
was
a few
my
changes
shit.
in the format.
What's his
Most
name?
notably,
What is that
ditching
artist's
the old
name?
people
Peter
and the mambo
Chung?
music. This would
That's
be one
my
of the
jam.
biggest shifts.
I'm gonna
in the
figure
Adult
out how to
Swim
do
saga.
Peter Chung reverse engineered
Switching things up
AI
with a
art.
plain
Yeah, I
black
said it. I don't care.
background and simple
I'ma
white
do it.
text overlay. Taking on a role as a sort of sarcastic, faceless entity that spoke to you directly.
Fuck
It was also
yeah.
during this
Fuck
period
yeah, I
that they
love
expanded their
hearing
runtime and started
Love
airing
hearing
6
this.
nights a week. With this direction, they could now inform viewers of nightly lineups, new shows, and even answer a few emails on air.
Look at this.
This snarky attitude would become a signature trademark of the Adult Swim identity forever. No
The
longer just a
Specialist?
flash in the pan on weekends, Adult Swim was now a household name.
Liquid Television and me first smoking weed, bro. That was
All right,
just...
so we got all that out of the way. We talked about the history and the evolution of the bumps. Now we can talk about my favorite part.
The bumps. Does this look familiar, bros?
That's right, I'm talking about the visual bumps, comprised of a picture or, in rare cases, an animation thrown together with a piece of music. Simple, but effective. No one really knows the true intention behind these. They're just cool to look at, cool to listen to. They're just, I don't know, cool. Anyway, these two became a gold standard in putting the late night production on.
Take us back
Not only
to
did you
the
get these
days
neat
of our youth.
interstitials, but you also had some killer tracks to go with it. I mean, holy crap, there was a lot of amazing music that got
The
thrown
music
into
was so
this.
good.
Curating from independent record labels, the folks at Williams Street handpicked artists that are now considered legends in the biz. Artists like MF Doom, Aesop
Lo-fi
Rock, Flying
before it was a
Lotus,
thing.
Jay
Facts.
Dilla, and more. The list is endless.
Facts. I
Quickly
literally went to
transforming into a
ChatGPT and I
hotbed
said,
where underground
what is
artists
the
could be heard
quintessential
on a
Adult Swim
massive
sounding
scale.
bump? And then create a
It was
Sonos
these
sound prompt
instrumentals
for
that played
it.
such an integral part.
And then I
pushing
take
the
songs
brand
that I
forward.
like from other things and I
These
put them
were
in
my
Suno and
personal
then you hear them on my
favorites. I mean,
bumps.
there's just something about this medium that just, I don't know, it grabs me.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. It was new. It was something different.
Do some of these bumps look familiar?
This would go on to inspire a whole flock of YouTubers to make their own fan-made bumps and put them up for others to view.
That's me.
A
That's
true
me.
testament in the lasting impression that the craft has had on a generation.
Hell yeah.
But why is it that there's such a large percentage of people that are drawn to this genre? I think what it boils down to is this. The Zoomer millennial generation have hard roots in nostalgia. Aeons of people raised on the basic cable of the 2000s. A whole generation of people that stayed up late and marveled at these seemingly insignificant segments. This was a time in television where we didn't really have a choice in what we watched.
I'm
You
getting
couldn't
a
skip
channel.
the ads after 5 seconds, so naturally, you just took it all in. People will often herald this as times of simplicity,
Yeah.
when things like TV were one of your top priorities. You didn't watch it just to unwind, you watched it because you loved it, because you wanted to be entertained.
These kids don't know.
As I wrote this video,
These kids don't
it
know
started
anymore.
as a basic concept about Adult Swim bumps. Somewhere down the line, it sort of changed for me. I started to think about how nostalgia affected myself and others, particularly the bond we share with certain forms of expression. Through imagination alone, we can conjure up places we haven't been or people we haven't met. And yet, even in those made-up scenarios, we can find ourselves bewildered. There's a strange connection that people feel whenever you combine certain music
We'll be here,
with
Carney,
certain
you know.
visuals.
You know.
We are a deep feeling species, and it doesn't take much to invoke some sort of sentimentality in us.
Wow, bravo.
Before I wrap this up, I just want to say we truly live in a beautiful time. The internet has become a living, breathing time capsule for us. If there was a weird thing you remember seeing on TV growing up, chances are you'll find it and go, oh man, I remember this. I hope you enjoyed this video and it inspires you to take a deep dive on some of your old interests. Thanks for watching.
That's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. And you are fucking awesome. You! No, you. Great video. Great field trip. This is all NWO's news fault. Everybody, show the love that NWO news deserves. Give it up! Big support. Thank you. Wait. 40. You know, we hit. Am I?
King be cruel. King be bitch.
Guys, did we just hit double goals? Did we just hit the fucking double goal? We hit the double goal, I think. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Doing the math here. We are literally $1 away from 60, but 25 and 25 equals 50. And we are 1 away from 60. So yes, the rumors in Scuttlebutt are true. We just hit the motherfucking goal!
We getting that rap money. We getting that rap money.
NWO. News super chatted $2.
Only the best, baby! Okay. You twisted my arm. I guess I have another one lined up for us right here. Oh, buddy. If you liked that, you're going to love this. Thanks for sharing in this with me. This is fucking awesome. You're topping us off. Sheesh. We got another non-DSP style video right here. There we go. How about that? Sorry about that, headphone listeners.
It's incredibly rare when a television network can hone in on the sensibilities of an entire generation and immediately click with its audience. For my parents' generation, that was MTV. But for my generation, it was and continues to be Adult Swim. Adult Swim may have evolved into the animation empire we know it as now, but it didn't start out that way. Now let me take you back to 1992. Ted Turner had just launched the Cartoon Network, a channel with absolutely no original programming that was built on the back of the MGM cartoon libraries Turner had acquired. So it was essentially the Hanna-Barbera rerun channel. But Turner wanted to make the foray into original programming, and that first original program was Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Hell yeah. All right, how's this sound
It
now?
was the brainchild of Mike Lazo, Cartoon Network's original head programmer that would later go on to head up
Carney, let's go.
Lazo was a huge fan of the short-lived Space Ghost cartoon from 1966.
Over on Kick, thanks for holding it down over there.
Since he had access to those cartoons through the Hanna-Barbera libraries, he had the idea to recontextualize those original animation cells and splice them in with interviews of actors and musicians, giving the washed-up superhero his own talk show.
Hello, I am Space Ghost. Welcome to my show.
So why the need for repurposing animation from the 60s? Well, For the first 4 years of the show, there was basically no money allocated to the production budget. Space Ghost was an all-volunteer gig since the network was hemorrhaging money.
Bernie, my apologies, I
There was
didn't
no
see
safety
you all the
net.
way
It was
over
a
there.
trial-by-fire effort.
You gotta
But the lack
be
of funding
patient
in
with
the
me.
indie
I've
garage
hit a
field
couple
gave
of
Space
goals.
Ghost a unique aesthetic that was different than anything else on late night at the time.
Okay, so explain this now. Your human dad put his human penis in your shark mother's vagina. And you sat by and let this happen. Pathetic.
It was experimental and bizarre, a sort of anti-comedy that helped popularize cringe humor, a genre we see today in things like Nathan For You and Adult Swim's own Eric Andre's show.
Hell
Andre
yeah,
even
Eric
stated that
Andre's
Space
show is
Ghost was his
awesome.
main influence when coming up with the concept.
Sheesh.
In December of 2000, after the success of Space Ghost,
Loiter
several new
Squad was
shows had
also really
self-releases
good.
under the
Boondocks
guise of a
was
special
great.
programming tag to test the waters of the viewing public. Those shows were C-Lab 2021, Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law, The Brack Show, and Aqua Teen Hunger
All of them.
Force, all of which were direct spin-offs of
Bangers.
Space
Banger
Ghost.
after
Master
banger
is my
after banger.
name, and thirst is what I tame. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, assemble.
Frylock, the hunger hater, tater.
Yeah, you can't do this shit nowadays.
All the shows utilized that same lo-fi animation repurposing
Real
technique
shit? Real
Lazo
shit,
and
Carney?
his team pioneered. And less than a year later, on September 2nd, 2001, those 5 shows, along with home movies, formed the initial lineup for Cartoon Network's official late-night animation block.
And this
Adult
is
Swim.
where this is my
Branded
golden
as alternative
era,
programming for
bro.
Cartoon Network's primary demographic would normally be asleep, but we weren't asleep.
I was
We
there
were
at the
every
ground
night
level,
watching
bro.
intently as this oddball
It
block
felt
of experimental
special.
animation deconstructed and redefined.
It came
the
at
format.
the most perfect
It
time
changed the
in
conceptions
my
of what
life.
television could be. Because Adult Swim wasn't just a channel. Over the years, as it evolved, it became its own personality, its own voice, speaking directly to the audience. Watching Adult Swim wasn't about viewing each individual program. It was about experiencing the entire night's content. The shows, the bumps, sketches, music, promos, and of course the signature fourth wall breaking intertitle cards. Adult Swim was for fans, and it was the first network that felt truly interactive. They'd respond to emails, open a dialogue with the audience. You could submit artwork or music and have it seen by the programmers, and maybe even get featured. People grew whole careers out of being featured on Adult Swim.
Uh-huh.
I was living at my mom's
Flying
house,
Lotus, oh
and
my God,
The
bro,
only TV
so
I would
good.
watch is Adult Swim. I would get high real quick, watch cartoons, and they had a little blip on saying, yeah, you think you got some beats, huh? Send them over. And then they put the address on there, and the first thing they played, they made a promo for the Boondocks around one of my tracks.
Hell
It
yeah.
just, yeah, it blew me away, man. The only TV you watch, you know, you hear the music on it.
Adult Swim had a hand in launching the careers of dozens of artists, even boosting the
This is
popularity of
fucking
the Odd
dope,
Future
man.
Collective with their show Loiter Squad.
I was sucking my daddy when I was 7 years old.
We can get away with dick, can't we? We can't say dick? I thought we were Adult Swim. Who's in charge of these rules? How about penis? Can we say penis?
MF Doom, Danger Mouse, Killer Mike.
I'm Killer Mike. You've been watching Adult Swim.
All these artists used Adult Swim as a conduit to grow their audience. It broke ground
way
in
I knew
offering
about
creators different formats for their art, even taking shows like Children's Hospital, which had started as a web series, and importing it into their nightly
I don't like
lineup.
the live
They were the
action
first network
stuff
to
when Tim
really
and Eric
embrace
and all
the
that shit
digital
started
world.
showing
We're
up, I
always,
was
especially
checking
Adult
out.
Swim, we're trying to stay ahead of the curve and bring people something they can't see anywhere else, and that includes online.
Darkwing, I don't know.
We've hired writers off of Twitter accounts. We're taking pitches, we're looking online, you know, we're looking on Instagram, we're looking on Facebook, we're looking on Vine. You know, for me, it's just inhaling as much content as possible and trying to figure out what works for us.
See, this is
Adult
what I'm
Swim also
talking
became
about,
the
bros.
go-to
This is
network for
exactly what I'm
canceled or
talking about. All
soon-to-be
right,
can-
let me just. I'm sorry to pause this. I feel like if somebody comes across this and they're like, "Oh, okay, this is the play. Let me get all of my forces behind this," you know.
Canceled programming. It had a direct role in the revival of one of Fox's most popular cartoons, Family Guy.
Somehow, some way, I see this path going through AEW because they're also a Turner program.
Refuse to show. But my good pals at Cartoon Network are showing it. Although I think they're making a couple of changes because I'm so controversial.
After Family Guy's cancellation in 2003, it premiered in reruns on Adult Swim and exploded in the ratings, boosting viewership to over 200%. and less than a year later, it was renewed by Fox for another season. The show even added this bumper to one of its later episodes, taking a jab at Fox for its unjust termination. And in 2007, an almost identical renewal deal happened with Futurama after an increase in viewership when the show started
Look,
airing.
Futurama and Family Guy brought in the normies, and then they saw the rest of the lineup, and they were like, oh shit, okay. So like, it was smart. I wasn't a Futurama fan at all until it was on Adult Swim, and now I adore it. I think it's one of the funniest, smartest, most well-thought shows ever.
Adult Swim. But
People
probably
do
Adult
sleep
Swim's
on
biggest
AEW.
contribution to television.
They did really
was its
good for
introduction
Forbidden
to
Door.
mature anime to an American
Like, no
audience.
wrestling promotion is perfect,
And it started
obviously.
with Cowboy Bebop.
Mr.
in
Pickles was
2001.
also a great show. Agreed, Chow.
Adult-oriented anime became the backbone of the network, sort of an extension of Toonami, which ironically later became incorporated into Adult Swim after its own revival campaign.
Thank you to Cartoon Network, thank you to William Street, and everybody at Adult Swim for actually paying attention to the voice of the people. You have spoken loudly and you have spoken clearly. Hashtag bring back Toonami.
But Adult Swim wasn't just about giving content a second chance. It was about giving it that first chance.
Reminds me of Kablam back on Nickelodeon. NWO News, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not, for somebody that is such a huge fan and advocate of the Adult Swim block, I never rocked with the Nickelodeon stuff, and the only reason is at the time when I was growing up, Nickelodeon was cable, and cable was expensive, and we were po'. We were po'. So that's why I also say that Adult Swim came in a golden time in my life, because I was so poor, didn't afford cable, but then I afforded cable, and then Adult Swim was there. It was waiting for me.
Surreal and sloppy. It's a place that welcomes risk-taking, that wouldn't immediately dismiss a show where the main character is literally a pair of ass cheeks. Adult Swim canceled your favorite show? Good. The important part is it gave you a favorite show, most of which weren't even designed for longevity. They're supposed to be fleeting. That's what makes them so special. It's about spontaneity. It's about the community. It's about the experience. And that's one thing you can't get from Netflix.
Incredible. That's incredible. Man, no, really. This is fucking awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the stuff that I love. And it just so happens that I love getting high and looking at Adult Swim. Metalocalypse, another one. Jeez. So many good ones. So many good ones. All right, so it is, we are closing in at 10 o'clock. We haven't even touched any of the DSP stuff. So what do you guys say? Let's jump back over to Space Planet. I'll see you on the other side of this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Level 99 live stream, where y'all have been really kind to me tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what DSP's getting into. But it's a Dashfire video, so I'm okay with it. Shout out to Dashfire, friend of the channel. We're going to watch a week in review, August 17th to the 21st. Let's stop yapping and let's start enjoying. Ladies and gentlemen, Dashfire's latest. Enjoy. Let me know if this is too loud, if it's too low. And look at these production values, bro. I'm a huge slut for production values, and this is it. This is it. The piglet just clocked in early. What? Huh? NWO News, thank you so much. Link 101, thank you. And Chow, I do remember 12-ounce mouse. Shout out to 12-ounce mouse. I had raw fill open. It scared the shit out of me.
What is going on, guys? We are back for another DSP video. And this was a short week, but it was a robust, meaningful week. And we start today looking at the views for DSP Gaming.
Oh boy.
And my god, look at this. Absolutely look at this. Imagine doing this for almost 20 years. And these are the views you get.
Look, I'm not even gonna front, all right? It's always quality above quality over here, and I'm not Mr. Views, okay? But his idea of a bad numbers would be like very much improvement.
Shut the fuck up and eat it.
You know what? You're right. You're right. No, you're right. It is quality over quantity.
But remember, guys, he's very successful, and we're all jealous of him. And then he puts this out on Twitter. I'm back. Join me for a great return podcast featuring a discussion on Capcom's fighting game posterity
Dash?
and
No, I did not.
locking in the next DSP Tries It. You notice how
my contribution to Dash's content was the PWR, the fuck PWR festival.
Biggest thing
and all I did was give him
is about giving him money for DSP Tries It. And look at this. We start off the stream where it doesn't say $150. It says $300 as the goal.
What the?
And he said, oh, I forgot to change it. The GTA stream, we were going for 2 goals, so I didn't have a chance to reset it.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, Phil, how you didn't reset the 300, but you reset how much you got.
Oh!
It's almost like you're sending a message to your audience of what you expect at least every day.
Yikes.
And then the topic of DSP Tries It comes up, and he says he will not do the Wendy's combo meal because it's nothing new. However, he will do the adult Happy Meal from McDonald's. And what is that Happy Meal? Oh yeah, that's right. It's the normal menu.
Womp womp.
Make that make sense, Phil. And then we started the week off with Paranoia from DSP, as he's worried his whales are not going to be there this week. And he's telling people, please step up.
So I'm not kidding you. Out of my 10 streams this week,
oh my,
there's a whopping 5 streams that I don't know if they're going to hit the goal. Okay?
Okay.
So I guess what I would say is, if you guys want to see DSP Tries It this week, which I certainly do, please support whatever stream you can be at. If we hit a goal, that's great. But if you were going to support, please support still. Let's try to hit multiple goals during the streams where we're going to get more people and more support. So hopefully that'll cover the streams where likely we're not going to get much support.
And then again, yet another rant. The old man shaking his fist at the cloud. Of course, I'm talking about FGC. And he's pissed that FGC ruined fighting games and dumbed it down so anyone can play it. It should be only for fighting game experts.
So, touching on what we were talking about earlier, gatekeeping, for an example, like DSP's trying to gatekeep, like you need to be able to hit your inputs in order to do the stuff in fighting games. I think there needs to be less gatekeeping in fighting games and more gatekeeping in professional wrestling. I'll just let anybody hop that guardrail or lack of it.
I'm not going to go into too much detail because we all heard this.
And I support those that support me, Carney.
FGC bad.
Thank you.
They're sheep. I'm better than them. Listen to me. And we all know his marathon gets supported by like 2 or 3 people under sock accounts. But DSP can't let his ego accept reality. And he's going to go on to say that so many people support him during these marathons. And there's many different factors that go into a successful marathon.
Oh, Sidious, that I don't know. He says, when you're doing a marathon of classic games like the Mega Man marathon I did recently, and I crush it financially, do I think it has to do with the games? Do I think it has to do with just people coming by? Does it have to do with the marathon? It's all of the above, because I don't really think that there is one factor that is determining you know, support
I'm a
levels. There's been
pedophile
nights that I
now.
played GTA 4 and I made like $300, and there's been nights that I made like $30. It's the same game. So what, you know, what's the difference? I don't know.
And then DSP played the Battlefield 6 open beta.
If you want to
And
call it
despite
that,
him
he
playing
didn't really
every
play.
single
He got
Battlefield
stomped.
game, he has now learned that you can spawn on squad mates in
You know,
Battlefield.
he is live now,
Usually,
I think,
when you do your
Darkwing.
job for 20 years,
I don't think he would,
you're supposed to have some progression. You're
You
supposed
know
to
what?
get
It is
better
kind
at
of
your
weird. He
job.
doesn't have a. Maybe we haven't seen it yet, but PWR hasn't said anything about the recent situation. I mean,
He's supposed to learn.
He lives a sheltered life.
DSP has gone in reverse. He's
he's a very
worse
sheltered
now
boy.
than he's ever been, and his hand is held in every single stream.
True.
And not only that, because he's so brainwashed playing all that Call of Duty, he says, I forgot, this is a team game. Of course, what DSP does is he runs off from the team, starts shooting like it's Call of Duty, and complains that the team is not following him and doing their own thing. And then DSP showed off his PC icons. And there's a few things to note here. First off, he never deletes games. He's got RoboCop, Doom on there, Fallout London, Taxi Life, Mega Man, and Cast and Chill still on his PC.
Darkwing.
The other thing I want to point out, he has Microsoft Edge, Chrome, and Firefox all installed on his PC. He also has Discord and Zoom installed on his PC.
Interesting.
And not only that, look at the bottom. Second from the left, chat exports. That means he is saving in a folder chats he had with different people.
Makes you think.
I wonder why you would need that, Phil. What? I wonder if there's any pay pigs in there. And of course, new game, you know what that means. DSP gets trolled. And he's on PC with the in-game chat. And we have these comments. Panda was 16. Hi, Phil. Panda was 16. Phil Snake Kino. But he let them ban Derek. Why didn't you unban him, Phil? And of course, the money was not there. Imagine that. Another new game that he decided to play after it released. And because there's no money coming in, he says, I'm having zero fun. I wonder, Phil. I wonder why.
They're just from the
Every
Kino
single
DM
time,
dump. What a
there's
dumbass idiot he was. He dropped the DMs. Now, Triple P saying that he wasn't going to do it and he was waiting for Phil to do it. Maybe serendipitous, you know, after the fact, but like, bro, so dumb.
Support. You're not having fun. The game's boring. The game's messed up. It's fucked up, dude. They
Because he
fucked it
keeps
up.
feeding the trolls.
And he goes on to say,
He keeps
guys,
feeding them.
if we hit the
Give
support
me your
goal,
mailing
I
address.
will
I wanna mail you a
100%
spoon.
buy the game. You know,
Shit
the
out of
game
my
that
fucking...
he's having zero fun. If not, I don't know. Maybe.
Exactly.
And now it's time to see DSP in action in a team-based game. Battlefield
find
6.
me some Chris Chan.
Let's see how Big
sound
Brain
effects
Brunel
and drop
did.
him in here.
It does feel, I feel like the full auto guns are way overpowered right now. People barely aim and spray and you die like right away.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't have... None of us would have known that Phil was telling Triple P that his wife has cancer or something if he didn't put the shit out there. So is it real? It doesn't look good either way. If it's real, then instead of spending time with his ailing wife, he's playing video games and begging on camera, or just faking it, going to such levels than to say something and put something out into the ether so vile and so serious. The Kino arc showed how truly special Phil is the nicest way I could put it. Worse if you lied about it in your opinion.
Oh my god. I keep forgetting that this game, it's team-based. So if you
here's the thing, like, Phil is his own biggest detractor. Let's just stop it. Let's just stop. Like, we got people out here saying that they're the top detractor, and if you say that out loud, you're cringe. I don't make the rules. If you have to go around telling everybody you're a king, you're not a king. Holy shit, and speaking of kings, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens and everybody in between, give it up for Papa Phil. Wow. Wow. Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot for bringing this into the world.
There's likely two other guys right next to him.
Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met all of these excellent people. Welcome, my friend. Do you have any unsolicited fish pictures that we can enjoy?
No matter what. That's on me. That's something I have to totally
Hope your
get used to.
Monday
It's
night
my
is
fault.
agreeable
I've
with
played
you. Thanks for
Battlefield so
stopping
long.
by.
I'm sure I'll
Thank
start to
you.
get used to it.
Big support.
Right now, I am not used to it. I get a kill, I start to
Man,
reload
it's a
right
red
away
carpet
instead of looking
affair.
around.
All the
My
heavy
fault.
hitters coming through. All the heavy hitters hanging out with the crew. You know, we out here. This is how we do.
Like, what are you kidding me?
Linda's being...
See what I mean? I start firing. Okay, I admit I missed the first shot. Then it goes hit, hit. I need one more hit. I go to fire. Keep
Look,
spraying wildly.
man,
I'm dead.
Sometimes you
You're
gotta
just, like,
have a little
actually
U-time.
having to fucking aim
And you're spending it
and take
the
your
best
time
way you
is
know
worse
how,
than
all the
just
way up
spraying
here
right
in level
now. Understand?
99.
Spraying is overpowered.
Oh no, I ain't Googling that
shit.
shit.
Should not be insta-downing you.
I don't want that algorithm sticking to me. I work in IT, y'all.
Oh, what?
This
I
isn't
don't
Call
get
of
that at
Duty.
At all.
Man.
I shot him in the face. It didn't register, and I
Ah,
instantly
here
got
we
down.
go
Okay.
again. He doesn't understand. Miss, miss, miss. Maybe hit him. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what?
DSP is like that stereotype of the face.
What? What happened?
Your true enemy when he...
I can't even tell what's happening half the time.
Brother, we've been hitting so many goals. Let me try this again. DSP is like that stereotype of the face, you true enemy. Then the wise sage reveals a mirror to symbolize Phil being his own worst enemy. Phil still wouldn't get the hint. True. All right. I'm sorry. It took me such a hard... It was really difficult for me to read that. I'm sorry.
Get down. I don't know. I was shooting him in the face. How did I die?
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he did everything but hit the guy.
What? What happened?
And he does it all slow, like, what happened?
Every bullet connected, no one died, then I instantly died.
Let's see. Back and to the left. Back. Miss, 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 miss. And don't you see numbers when you hit people, by the way, in this game, in Battlefield? You hit them and it comes out like they bleed numbers like an RPG. Holy. Look, all I'm saying is we've had some heavy hitters in the industry coming through. We're rubbing elbows. We're standing shoulder to shoulder.
Are you kidding
with Dave himself, King Dave. We had Jade coming through here for a spell. Okay, maybe hit him that one time in the center of mass, though. So how did Deadeye Burnell do today? You can pick up any game, guys, and play it at a professional level. This slow motion is killing me. Oh no! How did they know I was there? Empties an entire clip without killing anyone and then thinks he has tricked everyone by moving an inch to the side.
It doesn't make any sense.
Philip,
I'm not firing. How would anyone have known I'm there?
Oh
What the
no,
fuck,
guys!
man?
I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't play one on TV. I don't even know how to spell the word. But there is something to be said. On the internet, someone brought up the idea that unless it's right there in front of him, it doesn't exist to him. I don't know what the clinical term of it is called. It's object permeance, if I'm mistaken. So he literally, just like we all saw, emptied the clip, not hit a single thing, turned around, moved literally maybe 1 or 2 steps in another direction, and then expected them not to follow him. Out of sight, out of mind. that is the clearest example that I can say. His object permeance is only what's immediately in front of him. There is just no world around him, and that's why you're turning into Jade. No. No, don't do it. I think it's bad reaction mechanics, dude. He's old. He's old, and the gin is wearing him down.
And you're never gonna believe this, guys. First stream of the week.
No doubt, Carney.
Brand new game. And he doesn't make the goal.
What the?
What a shame.
You know, I didn't think I was going to have that much fun today, but I was hoping that we were going to get a good supportive crowd today, and we didn't. Another one. And that's what sucks.
Yeah, you hear that? All the people that support him in this stream, it doesn't matter. Support sucked. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't enough money, dudes.
This is why anytime any support comes through, we go to the green room. And that's why I honored the agreement when I said that we were going to smoke J's every 25 miles.
Then after the stream, DSP put this out.
King be cruel.
After today's stream,
King be bitch.
And
we did that
skipping
shit.
Battlefield 6. Conquest is too chaotic. Smaller maps feel like a COD ripoff. And the second stream didn't even get support. Perhaps the beta was a great idea to save me some time and money. I'd like your feedback, so please share. And who replies? Billy Mitchell.
What the?
Here comes the beggar king again to grovel like a slave.
Damn.
And then we have Moobs, who shows DSP as an actual pig. And then we get to the night stream,
like PWR?
GTA 4 with mods.
Shout out to JG Win, by the way, friend of the channel. We love JG Win. The calculator, because you can count on him. Keeping the pig's feet to the fire.
Worried, and he's telling people, don't freak out, but we might not have DSP tries it for the McDonald's adult Happy Meal unless people support. That is right. Give him money for him to eat a Happy Meal.
Yikes.
Then he put this out about GTA 4. Please come by to chill and support the final streams of this classic at 7 p.m. Remember when it was 6:45? Remember when it was 6:30? Remember when it was 6:25? It's funny how he pushes it later and later, but the end time never changes.
Interesting.
But he wants the same amount of support.
And that's why chat was like, I was jump scared. Phil was actually early.
And this is the biggest scam that DSP is running right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he misses the goal by $20 or $30.
Let's say.
So in theory, to make up for that, he would only need an extra $20 or $30. So $170, $180.
Jesus.
But DSP says, please guys, let's hit 2 goals to make up for earlier.
Look, we hit 2 goals today. We hit 2 goals. It's that Corey Feldman crap.
You're telling me you missed it by like $20 or $30.
And the fact that he's so chatty,
extra
the fact
to
that
make
he's
up for
so
that
chatty
$20 or $30.
and full of himself and like
that
aggro
is how he scams people.
You know what? We might be onto something. He might be sniffing that Corey Feldman.
Of course, this is
That's
how
why
DSP
DSP and
holds
PWR
teams
get
hostage.
along
It doesn't
so
matter
well.
what game he's playing. There's always some sort of hostage deal with every game, and GTA 4 is no exception, especially for the DLC.
If we hit a double goal for GTA tonight, okay?
Like, what if they both, like, you know, maybe Phil's been fibbing this whole time. Maybe he lives in Canada, or maybe PWR has been fibbing this whole time and he lives in Seattle. What's not to say that they both live in the same house? Kat's been gone for a while. You know why? Because she does not partake in the ski slopes, which is a shame. It's a shame because I know Jenna would. I know for damn sure Jenna would. Now, I'm not trying to party with Jenna like that. But if it's Officer Sanders, then we can have a conversation.
GTA will be next week.
Leave the diapers
It'll be
at home.
A daytime stream instead of a night stream. We'll finish the campaign of GTA 4 in that stream.
You mean to tell me you can't afford 11... what was the number? 1161?
And we will start the Ballad of Gay Tony.
Let's go! Jenna and PWR are made for each other.
There
A
you
dented
go.
Bonnie
But we
and
have to
Clyde.
hit a double support goal tonight.
Hopefully they'll
$300.
drive a car
But
off.
if we hit a
No, I'm
double
not even gonna
goal,
say that.
GTA
I'm not even
4
gonna say that
becomes
because
a
then
day
I would be
stream.
no
We
better than
finish
PWR.
the base game, and we start.
I hope. Why did they take Hulk Hogan and not Laura Diaz?
Art Ballad of Gay Tony. There you go. But we must hit the double goal. So who's going to make that happen? That's all that you want and more.
The only
That's
thing
all
that
you
works
want
against
and
Phil when it
more.
comes to skiing the slow, just sniffing,
And
is
now,
the fact
in a
that he
weird
eats so
moment,
much fast food.
DSP
Like,
starts
you're not really eating
questioning
food when you're
methadone
all
clinics
sniffed out.
and why going from one drug to the other is a good idea.
So, I'm curious. Many of you may know the answer. I don't, because I've never been into drugs or know anything about it. What? Methadone, a methadone clinic is a place where they put you on another drug called methadone to get you to not be addicted to hard drugs anymore, correct? But my question is...
God, Phil, oh my God. This is such a touristic... Let's let him finish. Maybe he's working towards a conclusion with this one. Let's see what he has to say.
Why then do people say it turns people into a zombie? Like, does it really fuck you up? Does it actually, like, destroy you? In which case, how is that better than being on other hard drugs?
That actually made me think
It gets
that
you off
he
heroin?
thinks that Raj and
How
Stu
does it
think
work?
could have been Lord, he's sick enough.
How does it stop
Can you say that again, Darkwind, in a different way?
from being addicted to
Hold on.
heroin?
Let me try and read it again. Maybe this is on my end. Let me try and figure this out. That actually made me think.
And how does it
Did
turn
he
you
think
into a
that
zombie?
Raj and Stu thing could have been Lord, he's
Oh,
sick.
really? Buckwell says, no, his brother's been on methadone for 10
He
years.
thinks
You
fent
don't
is
just get fucked up
methadone,
by using it.
Jesus.
It's only if you abuse it and take too much. So if that's the case, aren't you just substituting methadone for heroin?
Phil, shut the fuck up. Oh my God, this dude needs to stop. He just needs to stop. You're good, Darkwind. No. I just want to make sure that I understand what you're saying and I don't misinterpret what you're saying. That's how much I care about our conversations. That's what I'm getting at here. I want to make sure I got the full context. What were you talking about? Phil talking about methadone. Phil doesn't understand chasing the dragon, and you can't just cut things cold turkey, and this guy should know because he's a fucking alcoholic. Fuck you. Fuck you, man. I don't know. That was some bullshit dumbass take right there.
And how is that any better? If you're substituting a different drug for the...
You need to wean off of it, you fucking idiot. It's like, okay, I fucking bet you if Phil stopped drinking tomorrow, he would go into shock. His body would go into shock because you know that motherfucker drinks gin every day. Every day. There's no reason for him not to. So he'll do it. That's why he looks like shit.
Drug?
So I bet you if he stopped drinking, you know that's what killed Amy Winehouse, right? She tried to get clean, but the shock of her body going through alcohol withdrawal was the main contributing factor of her losing her life.
It blocks your opiate receptors, therefore fixing the chemical
Former
imbalance
alcoholic
in
and
your brain.
gambling addict acting all high and mighty about addiction
So wait.
treatment. Typical Phil. That's typical Phil. Wow. I am getting especially pissed off about this.
It gives you a flat effect. It makes you numb to all emotions.
Piss me the fuck off.
This is what I mean. Like, I understand, so you get off heroin so you don't die, but if it turns you into a zombie, then how does that help? But Buckwell's saying, no, it doesn't always do that. It's not like a blanket effect.
Jesus.
So first you have to get weaned off
I was
another
thinking
drug, then you
PWR
get
thought
weaned off the
that
methadone.
what happened
Jeez,
to
man.
Stu
That's
should
horrible.
have been you. Oh,
I wish
okay,
that- I
thank
would
you.
never wish that upon
Since
anyone.
you got a very sixth sense of right and wrong. Yes, there you go. Now I got
Anyway, Mundo
Now I gotcha.
did a $5 super chat.
I
He says, would
gotcha
you rather have a horizontal butt crack or a vertical mouth?
I wish
I would
motherfucker
rather
would.
have
I wish he
a
would say that
$75
shit.
contribution.
How
so we can
come
hit
it
our
wasn't
first goal.
Laura Diaz getting
And what a
ripped
shock.
apart by
A
an
dent
MMA
or a
fighter?
family member of a dent on drugs. What a shock that is.
Oh, remember,
And then-
by the way, River Rejection, I would say former friend of the channel. Fuck him. Fuck that meth head. Running from the law. You need to smoke meth in order to find DSP unironically enjoyable.
Right after that, someone re-upped their membership, and by the way, it does not count towards the gold, dude.
Oh.
And said, for the next DSP tries it,
Is Rever
DSP
dead? He
does
might as
heroin.
well. I have not
I can only
heard
imagine he
anything
would fuck that
about
up too. What the fuck, dude? Where
getting
am I supposed
locked
to put the
up?
needle? What the fuck, dude? I can't find a vein.
Ugh.
They fucked it up, dude.
And I do
And
be
of course,
Googling his name
DSP's
from
gonna
time to time. His
retcon
full
yet
government
again
name.
why he started wearing those shirts. In reality, it's because LTG told him, work on your sexy, wear more crispy clothes. And now DSP's gonna say it's because of his audience, because they liked the shirts and told him to wear more like that. And Phil, in both scenarios of LTG telling you work on your sexy and your audience telling you you're 43 years old, dress better, neither situation is good for you, Phil.
Thank you, King Michael. King Michael likes my shirt. This was actually the first summertime style shirt I ever wore 2 years ago. We did
Summertime
that
style.
summer
I don't
marathon.
know, guys. Do you wear 2 layers in the summer? I don't know. It's just, it's just so dumb and just so DSP, bro. Like the ugliest shirts he can find.
And I bought this shirt just for that marathon. And then people liked it so much, they said, will you wear other clothes like that? So then I did.
Yeah, so it's the.
And then
it's
we
the
got a
chat's fault.
flash of classic DSP playing GTA. As on this mission, he says he's going after this character in the game. He's a hater. And what proceeds to happen is he tries to steal a bike, an NPC beats his ass down, and he fails the mission.
Dumbass.
But remember, dude, I never failed the mission.
Johnny Chase, welcome. What up, Peel?
He runs like the pussy he is.
Wow.
Take down the
It is a
hater.
red carpet affair. All the heavy hitters coming through. Yeah, he's not human, bro. He ain't real.
Fuck you and die.
No, I need this, you fucking idiot. Oh my god. You're kidding. Dude, I ever failed the mission. I can't. He won't let me get it. Look.
Ah, he won't let me get it. He will always default to it won't let me have it.
We had this person, Kremp, start gifting subs.
Uh-oh.
Like 19 of them.
Jesus.
And it kept going and going and going. And DSP was happy with the money.
I'm sure he was.
However, it would go very, very bad very, very soon. As he would take
Classic.
offense to what Kremp is saying in the chat.
Wolverine Doll talked about it. Friend of the channel. We love Wolverine Doll here.
Don't take the money.
We
And
love
Kremp said
Wolverine
to
Doll.
the audience, I don't explain to peasants. And DSP took this personally, and he thought he was talking to him. And then this happened.
He originally was in the chat April 25th.
Why is he auditing
said
his
one
chatters
word,
right now?
And that was it. And then he returned tonight. He said, thanks, homie, to your future stepdad. Then when I asked who to give the badges to, he said random. Then he said, I'll put up 250 subs if you collab with Papa on Wing on Kick. I love you both. Who is Papa on Wing?
A
I don't
notorious
know who
gambling
that is.
streamer,
How
I
would
think.
I collab with someone who I don't know who that is? I don't even know what content they make. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay?
Denquisition.
Then he says, I don't answer the peasants. Then he says, a little bit of the 200K I'm making this year. Thanks for giving good content. I don't answer to the less fortunate. Who are you talking to?
Damn.
I'm the streamer. I have a right to ask
What
you
an
whatever I
eloquent
want. And
word
you gotta
coming
answer.
from
If you don't,
Runa
I have a right
Monet,
to kick your ass
a
off
very
my stream,
eloquent
regardless of the fact of how
screen
much you
name.
contributed or not. Now, are you Iron Chef Sakai or not?
Holy.
Answer right fucking now in chat. Are you Iron Chef Sakai or not?
Hold up.
Siege mode.
I wanted an answer right now. The
Right
stream is
now.
on hold until we get a fucking answer.
Hey, he said the thing.
You're broken in the fucking I'm your daddy? No, you're my little bitch. Don't you understand? I run the fucking show out here, not you.
Jesus Christ, guys. I try my best to be cordial and kind and receptive to all chatters across all the platforms. The way he talks to people that not only hang out in his chat, but give him money. That's another one to add to the Misery Merchant's list. The Misery Merchant on Twitter said very recently, what is it about Phil that...
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, what is it about Phil that you dislike the most? Because he said something along the line, something to the effect of, you know, people like me, or everybody, like, I'm universally liked, or something like that. And so, of course, Misery Merchant took Phil to task, and everybody started retweeting and commenting. I had my 2 cents, threw it in there. Where was I going with this? God damn it, I just...
So enjoy
We'll
your
just keep
fucking
going.
ban. Go get fucked. Okay? Now I'm
No
not counting
respect
any
for
of his
no one.
contributions whatsoever towards the stream. He can go fuck himself.
Damn.
So let's see, 24.
He said all the
Let's
criticism
subtract
of him is invalid or made up. There you go. Thank you.
$20
Look,
from our goals for
these
tonight.
goals, bro.
This is now who is the second place?
Now keep in mind, Krebs said he makes over $200,000 a year. And DSP over the years has said
Very
he
chill
barely spent any
and
money
very
on
meaningful.
WWE champions. But then he says this.
I spend more on mobile games than you make in a year, bitch.
Wow. Oh. Look at the glee. Look at his smug little fucking face. Smiling with glee. Finally able to tell the truth. Yeah, devoured.
And then he banned Crep. But as soon as he banned him and all the subs went away, Ether right away, on point, 50 kick subs.
Piss me the fuck off.
And now DSP is paranoid. Everyone is Iron Chef Sakai. And he demands right now to
Right
know
now
if Ether is Iron Chef Sakai as well.
Oh my god.
No, I feel like he's in here every once in a while. Because don't you notice that? Because Ether, at least you've been here since the start when I started streaming on K. Did you notice? ICS, he comes back. There's always a new name randomly out of nowhere that will
Oh, you
all
don't
of a
have to
sudden
do
drop
all
a bunch
that,
of
Carney.
contributions, and then we never hear from them ever again.
I'd be
They're
like,
just here, they drop it, and then they just disappear.
get into that
It's like a
line of
burner
touching the
account,
poo.
right? So that's who I think it is.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me take that back, actually, because somebody donated to Phil today, and I think their name was Genesis Games. And I actually took a beat and I looked him up on YouTube and I crawled through his social medias to see if he was a creep. And then I realized that I was looking for trouble, and that's probably not a good look. So
He doesn't come back with his own account. He can't. He's banned, but he comes back with burner accounts, I think, from time to time. So
sometimes you gotta let the poop
okay
wash to shore.
Well, you heard what I said earlier. If this stuff gets charged back, then no. Like if during this week,
oh, this was Chekhov.
I don't get paid
not
for these
Chekhov's.
subs.
Schrodinger.
All right, then no, then we're not doing it. So I'll let you know because I actually get
support.
paid.
Did he actually make this money,
on Thursdays,
or did he not?
So I'll let you know on
Will he-
Thursday if I get
will he
paid
cash
or not for all
in
these subs. If
this
they don't come through, that
phantom
means this
money
is all charged back, and it
if
was
he
all
needs
actually
it or
ICS,
not?
and then we can't do it. All right.
All right.
That's
He's
right. I get
asking
paid
for
weekly, so I'll
affirmation like
know
he's
this
actually-
week if I'm getting paid or not. Yep.
Yep. What a fucking prick, bro.
Now you heard that at the end. He's worried about chargebacks on Kick.
Uh-oh.
And remember in the past he always said, you can't charge back on Kick. Now he's saying you can, and he looked at his partner contract and it said that there actually could be chargebacks. And from what I've heard, the chargeback system is very similar to PayPal, how they don't do it themselves, it's a third party.
Uh-huh.
And it's very different from the YouTube chargeback system. And I'll say this here, even if you're trolling him, do not give him money
Exactly.
in hopes of chargeback.
Don't give him money.
First off,
at all.
you're giving him money. Second of all, there's no guarantee you'll actually win the chargeback.
Uh-huh.
If you want salt from DSP, starve him of support, and then the true DSP comes out.
Thank you.
And then remember how Krebs said, I'm your daddy? That set DSP off? That was a hint to who he was.
What?
So the very first message from Crep, at your future stepdad, thanks homie, he kept talking to your future stepdad. And then we go a little bit further down, and it says, Crep said, at Crep, so he's talking to himself, so he thinks he's under the your future stepdad account.
Oh
and
my
he's
god,
talking
what a
to Crep.
dent.
Just a little bit of the 200K I'm making this year. And then Crep tries to say, I'm your daddy, to hint that it's your future stepdad. But of course, DSP is too dumb to understand that.
Who does this,
And then Crep
bro?
was banned on Kick, so he went to YouTube. Hey Phil, this is Crep. I just want to ask for your email so I can explain myself. I'm not charging back, by the way.
Every live stream has the cuck chair. And ICS is firmly planted.
And you can tell DSP is getting really, really pissed off at Kick because they keep saying, we're giving you moral support.
We are all
And DSP's going to go on to
ICS.
say, Well, that's good, but moral support can't pay my bills, dude. Give me real support.
Exactly.
Okay. Works. All right. Anyway, John Michael did a $10 super.
And look at that. After he takes away the subs from Crep, back-to-back streams of not hitting the goal.
Uh-oh.
And look at that.
Fear Monarch says realistic 1 or 2 of these deep LARPs where someone pulls the rug from under Phil and then socks out, so even Phil notices he's going to start tweaking with paranoia. Real Support says NWO News comes in the form of Alcoholics and Gamblers Anonymous hotline numbers. Oh my god.
Back-to-back streams where the goal was not hit. And it's
I was thinking about making a bump that had something like, if you or someone you love is suffering from gambling addiction and alcoholism, please call this very real number.
And now we get to Monday. And the very first thing we see from DSP, as he says in chat, yes, auto mod is on.
You know what? I'm gonna do it.
But it only mods
You gotta
comments
remind me though.
from a
I'm
certain
gonna
list
forget.
of YouTube bad words, etc. And some of the examples of bad words that are banned: IRS, Panda, Kino Casino, 220, Snort, and of course the word job. And DSP is still talking.
I can't believe
about
it.
Kremp and what happened last night when he says, when you have that level of nonsense, there's no way to tell what's real and what's not. That is right. Paranoid Side Phil is here. And we have a quote from DSP.
I have a feeling, Darkwing, that we're going to see Phil
Don't
have
look in the
a
horse's mouth or
cardiac
whatever.
event on stream.
This man's brain is jello. And in the first clip,
Yes,
DSP's
thank
going to
you.
say,
Please do. I'm not kidding.
yes, you can charge
I'm not
back
kidding.
on Kick.
If you think that you're going to be
And then in
bothering
the
me
other
by
clip,
saying this,
he's
it
going to
is not
say,
going
no,
to be
you
the
can't
case.
do it. The money's mine. Thanks for the money, dummy.
Oh, no, that's not true at all. Absolutely on Kick, there can be chargebacks. It says as much.
I should just set a stupid
on
reminder on my
the
phone.
partner income page.
I need to have
When
a
you're
better
looking at,
workflow.
Here's your income for the week, and it breaks it down like how you did each day. It says right there, this is the total you're owed after
220 is banned too.
fees and chargebacks.
You can say it freely here.
So there is a possibility that you can charge back on Kick, supposedly. I haven't experienced it yet, but it says right on the page that you can charge back.
Why is he
so
telling
it
us
makes me
this?
feel like it's possible.
It's the Streisand effect.
I mean, it's all, isn't it all?
I guess now all of China knows how they can abuse the Kick gifted subsystem.
Also possible on Twitch, and I'm almost positive that Kick and Twitch use almost the same system. You have a long-time
Hello,
lurker. Here's the
beautiful.
thing. He's like, oh, I don't trust Iron Chef Sakai.
Yeah, it's because I was.
He can't do anything. Like, he's not, you understand, he's not tipping. If he was tipping, you could say, oh, there's a risk that he's going to, like, charge back. But he's not tipping. He's doing things that there's nothing you can do. Like, you cannot charge back a super chat. You can't charge back a gifted sub on Kick. Those are contributions that it's like no take backsies, right? Like, there's no refunding it. So it's all good.
And DSP getting even more paranoid by the second. He is now calling out Ether again. He wants to know if he's Iron Chef Sakai, if he's trolling him. He wants to know about those chargebacks, dude.
Understand something? Anything you say in my chat is micro-analyzed by my stalker trolls.
They can always go to the
so
bank
for
and
example,
say
one of
that
them
the
right now
charge
is
was
in
fraudulent.
YouTube chat.
I mean, but
and
would
says,
it be
ask
worth
Ether
it?
why it was okay to make fun of your paranoia
220
in
is banned on site,
post-stream
got me
chat
blocked by him
when
on
you've been
Twitter.
consistently trolled like this for years. I don't know what you said in post-stream chat because I don't have paranoia. I'm not like stalking the chat.
Dave,
I have no
you
idea what
crazy.
you said. But that, I mean,
Charge
they
back your
probably recorded
offspring
every word
43
you've ever
years
said in
later?
chat, and they have like a fucking running tally.
We're gonna
of
have
it.
to read the
And
terms
then
of
what they'll do is
service.
they'll cross-reference that with other things. Stands.
I do want to point something out here. How he says he doesn't stalk his viewers on Kick. He doesn't look at everything they say. However, on Kick,
He's not
you can look at the
responsible
chat
for what
history
people
of
do
a person,
outside of his streams, he
and you can
says.
see exactly every single thing they say. But of course, DSP is the most honest person on the planet. You can trust him, dude. And this week, he is playing Mafia, Suikoden 2, and a bunch of games. He's worried the whales will not show up. He will not hit the goal.
Never too late.
And he's going to tell people, please step up, because he's worried about support on those streams.
So here's the deal. We're at 14
Shout out to
goals.
H-Bomb, by the way. Huge fan
We
of
want to hit
H-Bomb.
20 goals by the first stream on Thursday.
And the
If
kid
we
voice
do,
filter just
then we'll be
it
doing
just sounds
DSP
right.
Tries It, the adult
Between that and the
Happy
Zesty
Meal
Phil.
from McDonald's. If we happen to do even better than
And
that
of course
hit
he's talking
the
about
10
McDonald's
20
and
goals
the adult
earlier than that,
Happy Meal.
we'll do it even earlier. But if we're going to do it this week, we have to hit that by the first stream on Thursday because I'm off on Friday and Saturday. Okay?
Zesty voice
I would
is
love
your
to do it
fave?
this week. I already told you I would buy both. I'd buy the Nugget Happy Meal and the Quarter Pounder Happy Meal so I get 2 of the toys and we'll
You
see what
never
they
know.
are.
Stranger
Just like I
things
did
have
with
happened.
the Minecraft meal months ago. Or I would do kind of a similar DSP
You know what? At
Tries
this
It,
point, I wouldn't even
okay?
be surprised.
So I hope you guys will support the stream today. I am nervous about it, and here's why. The last 2 Mafia streams did very poorly. One of them only did like 30, 40 bucks, and another did like maybe 70, 80 bucks. We have not even come close to hitting a support goal during a Mafia stream since the premiere of Mafia about a week ago.
We're doing a game
so
on it.
outside of the
I love
premiere,
this. This is my favorite part.
you know, and the thing is, we're already halfway through the game. I'm gonna beat it. It's 2 more streams to wrap it up. We're definitely beating the game this week. But if we have a couple streams here, because I'm playing it today and Wednesday, and we don't hit the goals then we're probably not doing GSP Tries It this week.
I'm nervous
you know?
for 2 reasons.
Unless people are overly
one big
generous and we end
bill
up hitting
and my
multiple
second
goals on
big
other
bill.
streams, then we're not gonna be doing it. So let's hit some support today.
Look, if my
for
kid was
Mafia.
Phil, I would
Let's
be
hit
an
the goal on
internet
the
hater
stream
too.
so that we stay on
I
pace
got
to
the
do
inside
DSP Tries
dirt.
It
You know
for
he still
Thursday,
shits himself.
okay? Hopefully that sounds good. I want to do it on Thursday with you guys or earlier.
I mean, you all know. We
but,
saw the video. We heard
we gotta
the
make
video.
it happen, and we gotta not have a completely dead stream where I'm playing Mafia and no one
And
talks
Darkman, I'm
and
gonna
no one
see you.
supports.
I'm gonna do you one better.
hopefully
Dave
that's not the
already
case
is
today.
an internet legend detractor. I'm gonna just say it.
Personally,
Papa
I have
Phil
enjoyed
is
Mafia.
a certified
I think that
hater.
it's a pretty good game. It's not the best game I've ever played, but it's certainly not a terrible game. It's entertaining. It's got that vibe of watching like an old school, you know,
I'd
Mafia
say that's
movie.
true. That's probably why he has
And
such a
I'm looking forward to see how it makes
affinity for
progress
scat.
today.
And would you look at that? Out of nowhere, we have a video from Justin Wong. I ran with Darkside Phil on rank in CVS 2. This has got to be a good video about Darkside Phil, right? I mean, they're buddies from the FGC. There's no way Justin Wong is going to talk back
After the
about
Justin
Darkside
Wong,
Phil.
I gotta wind down for the evening. The beautiful in real life female style waifu has walked in the door.
Oh, that was tricky. That was so tricky right there. What's up, everybody? This is Justin Wong. We're back with another
Look at this.
CVS2
Look at this
video.
editing.
And today,
Look at this
finally,
production
we got
values.
the
This is
chance,
why
we
Justin
got a
Wong
chance
is so
to fight
good
against
and Phil is so
Darkside
shit.
Phil. So we decided to run some games in CVS2 because we ran into each other in rank. So obviously, I picked some ratio 4. I picked some random teams. He wanted to fight by main team. So if you guys want to see the action, make sure you guys hit the like, share, subscribe.
Didn't he
turn the
wipe the floor with
notifications.
him? It's a shutout. Holy shit, kind of sad.
Yeah, that's a hard
Welcome.
link. That's such a hard link.
His Ken
It's
is
on.
great too. His Ken is super good. Every
I've
character
been
is
saying
good,
this the
man.
entire night. It's been a red carpet affair. All the heavy hitters have been coming through.
He's a hook. Yo, he is jumping.
You know, if we didn't get that emergency,
Bro, my man is hopping.
Amber Lynn stream. It's actually been a minute, hasn't it?
Our real, to be honest, I don't even know. Hey guys, can I ask you a question?
Big things
What's my real
happening in
team?
girl world,
Claude, Chun-Li, Cigar. Is
apparently.
it?
And I
Is
mean
that my
big,
real
like, 'cause
team?
they're overweight. They're fat.
DSP's doing good.
Good to see
But, like,
everybody.
so
but I
Vega,
will be
Chun-Li,
adjourning
Cigar's my real team.
after this Justin
And
Wong
now
segment.
DSP's going to retcon jerking off on stream on May
Yikes.
1st.
Now,
But do
as
you guys
for
have somewhere that
your
we can raid
second
out
question,
to? Anybody that's live on YouTube right now that we can raid out to? We had a very,
the
very,
incident 9
very
years ago?
productive
I
and
talked about this
interesting
many
conversation
times.
about all of the
I don't shy away from talking about it because
Psycho
the
Stew,
real reason that I survived the
Raja
incident
Jackson
is because
stuff.
I owned it.
We hit a
and
ton
because
of
I made
goals.
a joke
We
out of
watched
it and I
more
laughed with it while the whole
about
world was
Adult
laughing
Swim
at
than
me. I laughed
DSP
too.
tonight. It's been a very
I feel like
good,
if I had done it the
very good
opposite and
stream.
instead
I would try to raid out to
offended or tried
PWR's
to hide
channel,
it
but
as a
he wouldn't
secret or
let
said
me.
it didn't happen.
I've tried it before.
It would have
You
been
know what?
very
Chase
poor-
is
poorly
Chase
driven,
is
you know, would
Chase
probably
is
would have
live.
been
We're
the
gonna
end.
go hang out with Chase.
But instead, I treated it like a stupid, embarrassing, funny thing that could have happened to anyone, and it panned out well. Now, hold on one second here. Get this.
But I think the real question we've got here is, when is the next Clone Hero
To be
stream?
honest,
When is it? The people want to know.
I feel like I am pretty lucky in that regard. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I was a unique guy in a situation where so many people on the internet at that point were already making fun of me for like, this is how you don't play and stuff, that it didn't really matter that there was another thing that they were trying to tack on that was embarrassing. If everyone is already saying, this guy is a joke, he's a bad gamer, and all of this. Keep in mind, this was before I was an interactive streamer. I didn't do anything like I'm doing right now. It was more just doing raw playthroughs and trying to put out quality playthroughs, right?
Oh my god, my fucking ears. Jesus.
Here we go.
How did he expect this to work?
Here we are. So, yeah, like, because already people had kind of made
cooking
me out to be a
streams
joke
coming
on the
up.
internet and
Let's
stuff
go.
like that. I think that's why I was able to laugh it off and people laughed at me, but it was okay. Like, if it was the first time you ever heard about DSP and that's what you heard, you probably would have been like, what the hell?
I had a
Who's
delicious
this degenerate
dinner tonight,
loser?
in fact.
But
love
love
to hear it.
Now that's an embarrassing
I'm sure she
thing
would
that
love to
happened,
check it
right?
out too.
Also, let's be very honest here. I was very lucky that absolutely nothing was shown. Because the truth of the matter is, nothing was shown
I lied.
whatsoever.
Let's wait
Nothing.
until
It
after
was just
he
my
talks
stupid
about the
O-face,
incident, and then we'll
awful
adjourn for the
resolution,
stream. We
peach
gotta let
fuzz,
him
no
finish.
audio.
Oh God, I
Didn't
can't
see
believe
what I
I
was
said that
looking
out
at.
loud.
Obviously, there was no nudity or anything. No, really, it was not true sexual
Yes,
content.
and big ups,
There's more
congratulations
sexual
on the new
content shown
spot.
in a movie like American
Congratulations.
Pie than was in that clip, right? So I was very lucky, because if I had shown anything,
They say
or
a
if there was
rising tide
audio
lifts
that had
all
been
ships, and
captured or
for
something,
one of the most
oh boy,
toxic communities
that
on the
probably
internet,
would
you
have
guys have
definitely been like
the best.
not able to come back from. But I
You
did
turned
get
live
lucky
on
in that regard,
stream.
okay? Now, a
Pause.
lot of people say, well, how did that whole go down and everything? It's honestly, it's a pretty simple story. It's just a sad one. And
Yeah,
I've
we'll
told it
finish when
before.
he's done with
Some
talking
people
about
to this
his
day accuse me of
incident.
faking it. Are you insane? You think I would fake
No,
something
they
like that?
actually
It's like I've said, it was my
claimed
most
that you were
embarrassing
saying that you
moment
were
of my life. And like the one
scratching your
silver
leg.
lining I take out of it is that no matter what happens to me for the rest of my life, I've already experienced my most embarrassing moment. There's no way I can
Phil, no, there's still a chance. You can do it again. You
have
can
a
do it
more
all over
embarrassing
again.
moment than that.
It's been a
Really?
great
Like,
stream.
what
and
else
it's
could there be
literally
more
all your guys'
embarrassing than
fault.
that?
Like
So
this
I'm
is
good in
literally
that
one of the
regard. I got
first
it out of my system
live
relatively
streams
early,
over on YouTube
right?
where we got over 100 views.
In regards to the
We spent
incidents,
most
now
of the
that
stream
this-
celebrating
the
in
most
the green
embarrassing moment
room.
has happened, you know.
We barely
I honestly
watched
think,
any
like,
DSP.
things
We were
have
just
slowly
kicking it.
gotten
We were
better
talking
since
about
then, honestly, if you want to know the truth.
other shit. And I can't wait to go back and
That
listen
really
to the
was the
mic.
low
I want
point
to
of
make
my
sure
life.
that everything sounds good.
So what's the story
I'll
behind
be
it?
forever hyperfixated
It's not
on it.
complicated at all. At that time frame, things were falling apart for me.
Oh my God, he's still
in my-
talking.
This was
I'm
9
really
years
sorry
ago,
about
okay?
this.
Things were
I
falling
thought that
apart
this
for
was
me
gonna
piece
be
by
a quick
piece
one
my
and
entire
done.
life. So first of all, I moved out here in 2014. I lived in Connecticut originally, but I basically
Real shit.
spent like
Real
all
shit.
of my money that I had earned on YouTube for this move. To
We
buy
spent the majority
house,
of it talking
to move
about that.
across the country.
Did you
furnish
see
the
that
house,
crazy shit that
and
happened
some,
in California?
I overspent
on that indie promotion.
Basically expecting that I was always going to make the same amount of money. Within 2 years of me moving,
We
my
kicked the
income was
stream
like
off
half.
with that. We were chopping it up.
So
Literally went
I was
like an hour
completely
and a
screwed
half.
because I
It
was already
awesome.
up to eyeballs in debt, and I didn't see a way out of this financially. I thought that I had completely screwed myself up entirely for the rest of my life. So just that,
Exactly.
okay,
We're
was
the only
one
ones
big
keeping them
problem
afloat.
that was going on. Then my personal life started to unravel. You know, I was with a significant other. I'm no longer
Just
with her
say her
since
name. Her name was
2017, by
Jenna.
the way. My
And
current,
she's not Asian.
you know, my wife and everything I met after that.
No, not
okay?
Jenna. I'm sorry. Jesus.
So anyway,
we've hit a lot
I've
of
been
goals.
with this, you know,
Panda.
this girl for a while.
Panda,
and
Jenna.
we decided to move and start a life together. And at first it was fine, but basically as soon as stuff started to happen, like financial issues and heavy trolling on the internet, basically our whole relationship fell apart. Like, we just stopped wanting to spend time together. We didn't really talk that much. We lived in the same house,
But who
we
would
weren't
want to
really
talk to her
interacting
anyway?
that
She was
much.
so
She went off and
annoying
got a
on
job
camera.
for herself. And
I can
was
only
hanging out with
imagine
her
how it
own
was
friends
like
while I was at home
that
all the time
24/7.
working to pay the bills. And
His
keep the
name was
house,
Robert
basically.
Paulson. For
So
Panda Lee.
the entire thing had fallen apart. I mean, it got to the point where we weren't barely talking or interacting. And it sucked because, you know, at that point, there's no privacy. We live in the same house. So how do you have any privacy to yourself when you're living with someone who's almost just like a roommate, right? It was just messed up. Now, the thing is, we didn't want to tell the internet
Hated
about
Panda.
that because everyone would just turn it into drama. So
the whole Panda thing happened before me.
We basically made a bunch of stuff up constantly. There was a couple times we tried to make it still work. Like we went on a trip once to Seattle, and maybe this trip is like kind of the last straw where we'll click again and things will work out.
It
but it just didn't
work
work
if you
out.
called
Right?
it
It was
last
destined
straw.
to fail.
Maybe last
It really
hurrah,
wasn't a
maybe.
good relationship.
I don't
to
know.
begin with, to be
Poor
honest.
choice of words there.
Okay. Anyway, so my personal relationship was falling apart at the seams.
You came in after
I was up to my eyeballs in debt. I was constantly being trolled.
Rekindle the flame. That's it.
And
Thank
so
you.
basically, what I saw
Oh my God.
was that this room, this office, as I called it back then. Now I call it more of a studio because I have so much fancy stuff in here now. But back then I just considered it my office, right?
no.
My workspace. This was literally the only room in the house where I could be private, where we didn't have a shared space where she would have access to it. You know what I'm saying? When I was in here and the door was closed, that's me time, right?
Me time.
Problem
What about the
being,
shower?
She was almost
What about when she
always
was at
home.
work?
Yes, she had a job, so there was a few times a week when she went to work. For the
How
most part,
is he gooning?
The only time that I got to myself to be for myself
Came in
was
after
here
Cat?
in this room.
I can't remember when I
So
came
how did
in.
this
Like
situation happen?
2020,
I was insanely stressed out. We weren't really together. You know, I was at my wit's end. I wanted some private time, and I idiotically tried to squeeze in some private time at the
poor
only
choice
time
of
that I could,
words,
like
poor
literally
choice
as
of
I was
words.
starting my work stream, which is the stupidest thing you could possibly do, but it
Yeah,
wasn't like
it's the
I was
stupidest
in
thing
my
you can
right
call it, the
mind.
work stream.
I was
Fuck
insanely
outta
stressed out. I was doing dumb things. I mean, daily people were baiting me into doing rage bait shit on stream. And,
Yeah, he was doing
you know,
more
like I
than
said, it was
rage
just a
bait.
very different time of my life. And I'm so happy now things are
Squeezing
so very
my
different.
hog.
I'm much wiser.
Getting
I'm
another
older.
bait in.
I don't usually, you know, fall for dumb shit like
Holy
that. I
shit,
do
he's
still
still
sometimes,
talking
but
about
not
this,
all the
guys.
time.
I'm really sorry.
And things are just a lot different. Okay, I'm so happy that I met my wife, and I'm happy.
You know,
to
every
marry
time he
them,
says
to
that
create
out
life
loud,
together.
it
Like I
really
said, my home
reinforces
life
the
outside
idea
of
that
this
he's not
room is
happy with his
amazing.
wife
It's
because maybe
really,
she doesn't
really good.
exist anymore.
And it's
because
actually
she
getting
left.
better now that things are better. With
Yeah,
support,
someone's
we can
baiting.
take extra days off. Like this week's gonna be really, really good. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So this room was basically my one escape from this depressing life that I had behind the scenes, you know, and I know that sounds messed up. It really
And you know,
was.
he was
like, it really
so
was
angry before he
dysfunction.
met his
It was
wife, too.
A split existence where we had to keep up appearances to make everyone think that we were still happy and together.
Oh, so you were
I'm not even
lying
kidding.
to
We
your
basically
audience
worked
even back
together
then?
Almost a full 2 years.
I'm shocked.
That we still lived together. Because remember, we moved out here in 2014.
Oh my
I
God!
would argue
shut the
probably
fuck
it was
up.
around middle to late 2015 that the whole thing fell apart. And then we still were together, but not really, until, what was it, like...
She realized the
beginning of
money dried up and
2017.
she
I want
was
to say it was
outta
February,
there.
March of 2017 when we broke up.
Oh
And
my
she-
God! You know what, guys? I think we're just gonna call it a stream there. I am literally done with this, guys. I had so much fun hanging out with you all, and it's all your fault. I blame each and every one of you guys. I came here. I came in this thinking, all right, we'll wrap up right after this, and he kept talking, and he kept talking, and I cannot believe it that we're retreading the same shit. Oh my God. Sav, no!
Kinda Sav became a member. Kinda Sav celebrates 4 months of membership. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for the 4 months, Sav! A card-carrying member of the Level 99 Lore Corps. And I didn't come all this way just to come all this way. I already closed out camo. And I'll see you on the other side of this. You get everything set up here. I literally was turning everything off. Any amount of support that comes through, and we're going to spend this time indulging in the finer things of life. I'm going to put over everybody else that's been hanging out with us here tonight. We're hanging out on that mystic journey, cured resin. Hit this twice. I couldn't think of a better way to end the stream, guys. Surprise, motherfucker. So, without any further ado, this is all Sav's fault. Thank you so much, Sav, for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, NWO News, for the $2. Thank you so much, Link 101, for the $2. Thank you, NWO News, for the $50. Holy shit. Navy Vet for Life, thank you for the $5. Link 101, thank you for the $2. I'm getting emotional. Yeah, we're getting that ARAB money. We hit 2 goals. We had 2 J's. This is at least the 3rd or 4th time we've done this. History is being made. Records are being set. And I'm going to sleep very well tonight. And it's all because of you. Thank you. Thank you. Big ups to Shao Shimigami and Brady holding it down all the way over on Twitch. Big ups to all of the Kick bots over on Kick. Darkwind, we actually did do a collab. Check out Kinda Sav's channel. We did do a collab. It was like last year, I think. It was really, really cool. We're getting that Big Roach money for show. But of course, big ups and thank you to Darkwind, NWO News, Kinda Sav, Link 101. I'm going to scroll up as I see it. Johnny Chase, big ups, mi amigo. Thank you for hanging out. David P. Burnell, the father of the guy himself. Thank you for coming out. The Cult of Carney, of course. Ozzy's Game Room, Sergeant Fambro. Fear Monarch. It won't let me scroll up anymore. And everybody else that hung out with us. Sound off in the chat if I didn't shout you out. Stay tuned. We're going to be back again doing this all over again on Wednesday. No Waifu Wednesday. And then after that, Friday night free for all. And we'll see what's going on the weekend. I don't know what's happening yet, but I'm sure whatever it is, I will be high. And with all that being said, guys, I love each and every one of you platonically and consensually. Please do stay happy, healthy, and most importantly, hydrated. And until next time, take care, be safe, peace.